Hello.
Well, hello there.
Can you hear me?
I can.
I just want to introduce myself. I am Paris. I'm Mara's Director of Operations. I'll actually be introducing you today to the class.
That's great. Sounds good.
How's it going?
Awesome sauce.
Good, sweet. We usually get around like 15 people.
Not bad.
They're coming in pretty slow today. So
This is from what? How many market centers?
we have, so it's Sunset Corridor, Portland, Salem, Eugene, Bend, and Medford. So 5.
5, 15, 3 in each. Okay.
Yeah, usually we have more like Portland, Salem, Eugene people, but I wonder why. Interesting.
So.
And then I will actually be on for the first like 10 to 15 minutes, just so I can admit people when you're talking and introducing yourself as well. After that, do you know the whole Zoom rule that you have to admit people now?
Yep.
Yeah, okay, perfect. So that will annoyingly pop up. Sorry.
No, it's okay. So then, am I sharing my screen for the PowerPoint, or what's happening with this?
Yeah, so if you should have the availability to do that, to share your screen right now. And that's what usually people do.
One participant can share at a time. Okay, so should I just click share screen? Yes, I do. And then we want this one. No, not the right screen. We want, where the heck is it? Well, I suppose I want this one. Okay.
Are you figuring it out? Yeah, there we go. I can see. That's perfect. I'll probably give people till 1:05 to log in and then we'll get started.
Oh, I'm looking at Jessica. Can she hear me? Are you admitted?
She should be.
Woo woo. It has been a while. All right, I'll be right back.
Okay. Alrighty, well, I'm gonna start just talking to you guys about accountability in your numbers. I know yesterday we went through in detail, so I'll keep it short and sweet this time. If you guys want to just like fireball off your numbers or anything that you have success in or have any questions about. I'll just have you guys just go for it. Whoever wants to go first.
I could go. I don't have anything amazing yet, but I'm still plugging along. I was looking at my reviews for my newsletter and I noticed there was quite a bit of clicks there, so that's good. And I'm still mailing out 6 mailers a day. That's my daily goal, or not mailers, postcards, handwritten postcards. And so 6 times 7, 42 a week, and then a month. So kind of break it down that way. And I haven't physically called any expireds. It's kind of my niche and what I'm trying to get good at. Yesterday I had some stuff I had to take care of in my personal life, but so nothing quite amazing, but still. And I actually sat in a 2-hour contracts class yesterday too.
Awesome.
And
I love those numbers. Good job. Anyone else?
Let's see. I had probably 6 contacts, made an appointment with a title company for Friday to just discuss services and get a feel for them. Did some scripts training, and that's about it.
Sweet. Awesome. All right, 2 more people, maybe 3.
I'll go.
Okay. Hey, Eileen, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Good.
So I tried to really focus today on getting into Command and starting to use some of the designs for both my smart plan for my Facebook. And so I finally managed to do that today. I'm a little intimidated, but it was not that bad. So I created an ad and I joined the Nextdoor community where I live here near Coburg, at Coburg Road, that is in Sheldon. And I created a new presence on there and posted my ad on there. And then I did a different ad for Veterans Day for my Facebook page, and also prepared an ad for there. So that felt good to be able to do that. I have to now set it up for my smart plan so I can keep my drip going, because I'm not prepared to do the drip. That's for sure. I heard back from someone at the title company about doing some co-marketing, and also from a client about working on a 1031 exchange. I'm still frustrated, a little bit frustrated. Haven't been able to get through to this one gal that I'm trying to reach, where I have a lead for a potential buyer for her, some of her land and her home. And I keep trying different ways, but not successful yet. But other than that, it's been a good morning.
Yeah, you're plugging along. I love it.
Right.
Anyone else?
Question for us.
Yeah, of course.
So I'm gonna do holiday cards. Should I do something like with the Keller Williams logo, or should it be more like just personal friendly stuff? How would you do it?
It's up to you, and Devin might have his own say on this. With Mara's team and what we do personally is we actually go and, well, we do 2 things. For her, like 20%, her sphere that she really is trying to hone in on, we actually make it customizable. So we do like a little picture of her or me or the baby or something where they feel like they're getting that touch and getting that personality from her. And then we handwrite everything and put her KW card inside. So that's how we do it. And then for the other people who we just, realtors or anyone in our pipeline that we feel like we actually do want to reach out to them and be a resource for them, we do give them a Christmas card, but it's just more basic. And it says like Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays with her card inside.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, of course. All righty. Well, I love Molly and Kari. Sweet. Reading your guys's numbers. Awesome. Well, we will get started. So actually, this is my top favorite Ignite class. I love Win the Buyer, especially for what I'm hearing from you guys and your contacts. This is going to be such a great class, especially because it's with Devin. And so I'll give you a little background about Devin. He started at KW Southern Oregon in 2013, and then he moved his business and his family to KW Capital City in 2015, and then that's where he earned his principal broker's license. So now he has served 4 years on ALC. He's acted as a productivity coach, and he's also been the recipient of KWCC's Pop Solo Agent Award for both closed units and volume in 2018 and 2019. He's known for being super dynamic, approachable, and he always has a smile on his face. So we are super excited to have him here. Devin, do you want to add anything to that?
Sounds good. You guys are going to get to know me by the end of today, aren't you?
And you can just jump right in when you're ready.
Awesome. So just to be clear, Paris, you've done the accountability, the beginning of the numbers, so I can jump. You've done the report out, so I can jump into scripts and the head in the game.
Correct. You're all good.
Awesome. Thanks, Paris. All right, guys. Hello, everybody. My name is Devin Thiel. You just heard about it. I want to be as comfortable as Alan over there, but you look just right cozy. Here's kind of my rule about it. I mean, we've all got our personal life going on. So if you got to jump out for a bathroom break or whatever, you don't have to raise your hand. You just bounce out. That's okay. I do like to see your all faces though. So if I can see Eileen and Carrie and Jeff, you all want to put your video back on. It helps me out. Just making sure we got icon. You can chew in front of me. That's fine. Look at this. I got a coffee cup. I got a water cup. I got some snacks we can't see, so don't worry about it. We're all people. I'm gonna try and take a break probably every on the top of the hour. But if y'all gotta go, just get up and boogie, come back. I feel like I know some of you. Who have I met before? None of you? All right. Alicia, you look. Is it Alicia or Alicia?
It's Alicia.
Yeah, Alicia, you look familiar to me. All right. Not really.
Where are you from?
I currently hail in Salem, Oregon.
Interesting.
Whereabouts are you?
I'm from Eugene originally, but
There you go.
I don't know.
So here's what we are going to do today, guys. We are doing win the buyer. And so what this is really going to be doing is looking at finding the buyer, getting them into a consult, and having them commit to you as a realtor. And then what we're not going to cover, because you guys are going to do this for session 8 and 9, is finding and showing homes. So that's a different section with the buyer, and then also making and receiving offers. That's a different section. So before we get started, does anybody have any questions? All right, there we go then.
Yeah, if we can focus in something that when you are with a buyer and all of a sudden the buyer just change his mind or he is not responding to you anymore, what is the tactic that I can use to get them back?
Yeah, who said that?
Mona,
I can't see your video. If you would, if I can see your face, that would be amazing. It helps me out. So,
okay.
yep, because I can kind of see your lips going. So we will cover that, guys. Also, throw your questions into the chat, or you can just spout them out. That's fine. But then that way I can kind of come back to them. The truth is I got a memory like a goldfish, so I might forget. So the short answer is, Mona, is that have you yourself ever received a sales call from, say, I don't know, maybe your dentist this time for a checkup, something like that? And you go, yeah, you're right. I do need a checkup. Hold on, guys. I got life over here and business over here, and I'll get there. But thanks for the call. Call me later. So sometimes, and maybe you get that in a text or a voicemail, and you don't call back because you're not ready. You don't call back because you're on vacation. You don't call back because later on. So, unless they say like, stop calling me, I don't want to talk to you, it's okay to periodically check in, understanding that they may not be engaging with you right now because the time in their life isn't right. Don't take that personally. It's not you. It's that it's the time in their life isn't right. And guys, tell me, is buying a home a humongous thing? Is it a huge deal? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah. Hey guys, is pre-qualifying for a house a pain in the arse?
Yes.
So as you can see, there's so much prep all the way up to where you actually engage in a realtor these days. Because let's be honest, buyers can do so much of their searching online, can't they, guys?
Yep.
They can. So they really only kind of reach out to you when they're ready to go. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yep. So what's the game? The game is mind share. There's market share and there's mind share. You want to keep top on their mind. So when they're ready to go, they call you. So the short answer is keep dialing. Make sense?
Yeah.
Good. Okay. Let's roll through this. So we're gonna get right into page number on your manual. How are you guys doing this? Are you split screening? Are you guys only looking at my screen for the slideshow? Do you have the work booklet? How are you doing this?
I have the booklet, your face, and the screen,
Same here.
and the chat room.
I have all the
Chat.
places on the side, on my side panel, and 90% of my screen is the
Right.
content.
Okay, let me ask you this then. What would be more helpful, to see the slideshow or to see the lesson plan?
The slideshow.
Everybody cool with that? All right, we're just gonna keep rolling it. So you guys did your daily 10-4. Now we're going to get out the phone and lead generate. Are you doing this in class right now? Zoom's a little bit weird. Usually we do this in the classroom. Are you guys doing this on Zoom?
Yes.
You are. Outstanding. Okay, so let us read our scripts then, shall we? On page 9. On page 9. Avery, I got to ask you, you look like you're in Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, and you're on the lawn. How'd you get the grass so big? That's awesome. Okay, so how I like to do the scripts, guys, is what you practice in here is what you practice out there. So bring your energy, and you know what? Let's do this. You guys, who wants to volunteer the first script? I might make this group read later on. Who wants to volunteer? Who wants to make some money today?
I'll do the second one.
Oh, second one. Come
I'll
on,
do the
renters.
first one, but I need to find out where at in my book here.
Is that all of them? Is that all the courses?
No, this is just the Ignite.
It's session 7.
Session 7, page 9.
9.
Okay, got it. Okay. Renters.
Renters. Yeah,
Am I reading it out? Okay, so am I?
Yeah,
Well,
read it out loud. I'm your phone. We're all your phone call. You're all calling us, or you're all talking to us, and this is what you're saying. And you're
Okay.
saying,
Hi, my name is Jessica with Keller Williams Realty, and I was wondering if you've considered buying a home for yourself or your family sometime in the near future. Owning a home is a goal for most people and continues to be a good investment.
well, yes, we have.
Great, I'm happy to hear that. Have you wondered about the cost and the process to get into a home of your own?
Keep reading.
I found that some people don't like they can afford to buy their own home, and they may be able to buy a home for almost the same amount as they are paying in monthly rent. I would love to sit down with you and explain the process of owning your own home. It's no obligation on your part. Would you like to meet tomorrow for 15 minutes?
Guys, what do you think? Would you meet with Jessica?
Yes, I love it.
Ooh, may I have permission to for a coaching opportunity?
Yes, please.
You
That's how
do?
we learn.
Okay. This is one of these, like, tricks that great coaches and great script readers use, which is the substitute and switch the period for the comma. And what do I mean by that? So let's go to the second paragraph where it says, have you wondered? Remember how you ended in the question as like a question, you stopped and waited?
Mm-hmm.
Could somebody throw out an objection and derail your awesome script?
Yes.
Yeah, so how do you manage this? What you do is you actually switch it out. So you don't
wondered
pause, you rail forward, and then where there's a comma, that's where you take your pause. So it sounds like this. Have you wondered about the costs and the process to get into the house of your own? I've found that some people don't even think they can afford to buy their own home, and that they may be able to buy a home for almost the same amount of money as they're paying in monthly rent. Did that make sense at all? You see how you move forward past the question, pause afterwards, People aren't going to interrupt you when you're in the middle of a sentence. They will interrupt you at the end of a question mark. It's weird because what you're really trying to do is get down to the tie out, which is, hey, look, it's no obligation on your part, and would you like to meet tomorrow for about 15 minutes? What do you think?
So what would you suggest to get them, like, I don't want to verbal vomit, right? Like, and then they're just like, I don't want to talk to you. Like, there has to be a rhythm and to get them engaged. I mean, I guess you just say what you're going to say, and either they're going to respond back or not.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, here's the deal. At the end of the day, it's just about whether they want to talk to you or not. If they don't, they won't. And if they do, then you're doing a great job. But we're script practicing, which is awesome. Would you like another crack at it, or shall we move on?
I'll try one more time.
Yeah.
Okay. Hi, my name is Jessica with Keller Williams Realty, and I was wondering if you're considering buying a home for yourself or your family sometime in the near future. Owning a home is a goal for most people and continues to be a good investment. Have you wondered about the cost and the process to get into a home of your own? I found that some people don't think they can afford to buy their own home, and they may be able to buy a home for almost the same amount as they are paying in monthly rent. I would love to sit down with you and explain the process of owning your own home. It's no obligation on your part. Would you like to meet tomorrow for 15 minutes?
I really do. You sound amazing. Jessica, good job. Who's up next?
Eileen.
Eileen, let's go.
Can I personalize it for someone I know?
Yeah, I'll say yes.
Okay. Hi, Sherry. Crystal gave me your name and told me that you're considering stop paying your landlord and paying yourself. May I explain? I help people buy homes, and I found that a lot of people don't think they can afford to buy their own home, and that they may be able to buy a home for almost the same amount as they're paying in monthly rent. She seemed to think that might be something you might be interested to hear about. I'd love to sit down with you and explain the process of owning your own home, and it's no obligation on your part. Would you like to meet tomorrow for 15 minutes?
How did that feel to you?
Felt pretty good.
Yeah, okay, so what's the main mechanism that you've done there with your substitution?
Trying to make the connection right up front so she knows who I am and feels better about talking to me.
You did, and you also said she thought it would be great if I sat down with you instead of I think it would be great if we sat down, right?
I didn't remember that, but okay.
Well, that's what you said. I mean, that's what I remember hearing. So yeah, I think that's fine. I mean, who's next? Let's do newlyweds.
Newlyweds, yeah.
Why do we love newlyweds, guys? This is one of those questions.
They're making big changes. Their family just gave them a bunch of money.
Okay,
They
so
want
your
family.
relationship, Naseem, did I say that right, Naseem?
Yeah.
We're gonna keep going on this because they're excited, they're in love, and then what happens once they buy their first time house? Generally, there are
Kids.
and then they have to buy another house because they need more space. Has this ever happened to any of your buyers?
Yeah.
Okay, what in today's world, what happens somewhere between 5 to 10 years after they get married?
They're ready to move.
Yeah. I don't
They need more private space from each other.
Yeah, guys, I
They've
went through.
outgrown their house.
Yes, I'll speak from my experience. I went through a whole bunch of weddings. I'm seeing a whole bunch of divorces on the other side.
Oh God.
And now you're doing sell and a buy, depending on your relationship, right?
Yeah.
Am I the only one?
No.
Yeah, it's a thing. It seems like, whoa. Okay, so newlyweds. So the point is, they're starting their family. This is an excellent opportunity to continue that relationship, since there absolutely will be somewhere down the line buy and sell opportunities. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Okay, so Naseem, does that mean you were going to read it?
Sure, why not?
Attaboy.
Hi, Josh. My name's Naseem with Keller Williams Realty. I'm calling today, first and foremost, because I heard you recently got married and I wanted to congratulate you. And second, to see if you considered buying a new home or if you already own a home. What about buying an investment property? I would love to sit down with you and explain the process of owning your own home or investment property. It's no obligation on your part. Would you like to meet tomorrow for 15 minutes? And because you're a newlywed, you typically know other newlyweds or others getting married who haven't bought a home yet. And you'd be doing them a great service by introducing us and letting me talk to them for 5 minutes to share with them the opportunity of owning their own home.
Yeah, guys, one of my partners, in fact, have any of you guys must know Shauna Rife, yes?
Yeah.
Yeah, so she did a fun thing at one of the newlyweds thing, that she set up a Go Fund My House account so that people could gift for the down payment.
That's cool.
Clever. She's very clever. I like her. All right.
Instead of,
Good job.
okay. Instead of wedding gifts?
Instead of blenders and waffle irons, down payment for the house.
Nice.
Don't you think?
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Anybody else want to take a crack at a script or have questions about scripts?
If the client did not answer you by phone, can you text him?
Yeah. Yeah, I would. I think guys, let's not overcomplicate it. What's the whole point? We're trying to get in communication and have a conversation about their interests. The truth is, hard to get people on the phone sometimes. I prefer phone, but sometimes you got to text. The whole point is if you can engage two-way conversation, that's the best. However, I would urge you not to go into details about the experience of buying a home, but to use that as an opportunity to get together. Good things will happen when you go belly to belly. That's where the magic happens. Right?
Right.
Yeah. Did that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. So the final thing that I'll kind of talk about on scripting is not to get wrapped up in the words of the script, but simply what we call chunk them down into concepts. The first concept is you're introducing yourself. The second thing is you're saying, hey, look, you're a renter. Have you ever considered buying? A lot of people can own for less than they're renting for. And at the end of the day, you want to get together for a coffee. Let's talk about it. Right? That's what we're hearing over and over. It's introduction. This is your situation. This is why it makes sense for you to meet with me. Let's meet. Does that make sense? Yeah, so don't overcomplicate it. We have scripts to help you out, but eventually this is just a concept that you need to. And that way, when you're on your own and just talking to somebody, you'll be like, oh, we should just get together for coffee and talk about it. Pops. Cool.
Can I ask a quick question?
I don't know. Can you? Who said that?
Can I please ask a quick question? So I have a daughter who's 35. And I know a lot of her friends and a lot of other millennials or whatever they are, Lead Gen X, I don't know.
Right.
They don't really pick up the phone anymore. I mean, I've got ones that say, if it's an emergency, text me, and I'm not kidding.
I
So
understand.
how do we deal with that? You know, I mean, obviously we want to make the closest connection that we can, but some people just don't reply to anything but text these days. You know?
Why
Thoughts on that?
do they need you right now?
Because interest rates are low.
No,
And
yeah, but why do they need you right now? You want to talk to them right now. Why do they need you? I'm challenging you on this because you've got to think forward with these a little bit. You got to
Okay.
think into the answer is you're correct. It is harder to get a hold of these people.
Uh-huh.
I have successfully pulled off a transaction using Facebook Messenger, and almost the entire thing was GIFs and memes. It was awesome.
Yeah.
You know, so and that was with they're 26, right? And that's just kind of how they communicate. It was kind of funny. It cracked me up. But we always had to go to the phone to do like real busy stuff. Or they have like this press and hold and you record your voice thing. We
Yeah.
did that a couple times when it got complicated, but we
Uh-huh.
really didn't talk on the phone.
Yeah.
So the question is, how do you reach them? I'm an event guy. I personally like to get people in a room. If you're a mom, I don't feed them. I don't know. Invite them over for.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, but you want to be what you're really looking for is value. So for most, in my opinion, most people right now have trouble with two things: down payment, credit.
Mhm.
That's it. The other thing that you can be useful at is the internet is everybody's go-to right now, but is the internet full of absolutely way too much information? So how do you apply it? So rather be the one who has the information, you're actually going to disseminate the information and make it relevant to them.
Okay. Thank
But
you.
because of the age group, they're probably only going to pay attention to you when they need you.
Right.
So
Yep.
really, it's, at that point, it's a marketing.
That's
Yep.
for sure.
Yep.
All right. Thanks.
You can get into some fun internet stuff later with that, where you pop up everywhere they go.
God.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
stalk them. Absolutely.
Mm.
All right, page number 10, getting your head in the game. So finding buyers is simple. It's not hard to find buyers to work with. They visit open houses, they look for properties online or through your app. Buyers are everywhere all the time, essentially raising their hand and saying, work with me. Servicing buyers is also inexpensive. Buyers are more time consuming and than costly. So, they're driving them around in gas, but that's your time. Apart from gas, you'll put in your car as you show homes, your expenses will be low. But once you find the buyer, your expense will be low. But to actually get them on a contract, you may spend a little bit of time. Yeah. I forgot to ask, how many people here have been are brand new to the industry and like never close a deal or close less than 2 deals?
Me. 2 months I've been licensed.
Yep. Okay. And then who's been in the industry and came over from another brokerage? No? Go ahead.
No, I start with Keller Williams, but I closed down almost 10 deals. Yeah.
Oh, you did? Okay,
Yeah.
awesome. I still can't see your video, Mona, so I don't know. I don't know. Okay, so yeah, so most likely, unless you guys have a really large sphere and you've been already talking to them for a long time, you're probably working with buyers before you're working with sellers. Who here is working with buyers first?
Me.
Me, she says. Okay, and who's working with sellers first? Who's not working with anybody? Oh, y'all really got to get Colin today then, huh? Okay, so when I started real estate, I straight to buyers, straight to buy, open house, boom. Today, COVID, a little bit different. You can still find them and still go for it. Oh, there's some chats going in here. Let me look at the chat real quick. Chats. How do I do this?
Oh, Tina.
Holy smokes. Ooh, look at them all. Okay, I'll pay attention now. Looking at a job, found time, put it down. Oh, I see. Carrie says daughter now. Okay, got it. A couple new buyers, couple sellers. Good. Keller got my license. 4 transactions in May. Tina did. Where's Tina?
Great.
Nice job, Tina.
Nice, Tina.
How many of those were buyers? You can use your fingers if you want to. 2? So split pretty easy. Which one was first? Buyers? Oh my God, I'm gonna make her talk. Hold on, she says. It's all right. Maybe she likes to type. I have a buyer ready to put on. Yeah.
I do like to type better. So my first deal was from a friend of mine, like only a couple of weeks after I got licensed. And she was selling her house and buying. So I had 2 transactions with her.
Nice.
The next one was my parents sold their house to my sister. So I was on both sides of that transaction.
Nice.
Wow.
That's cool.
I like that. It's nice to know you let your family know you're a realtor.
Yeah.
That's a good thing to do.
And I've got a really close friend of mine who's like, he's ready to put an offer in. He did put an offer in, but the house was going for 10% above asking, and it was out of his reach.
It happens. Yep.
He's got another one on his mind he's thinking about.
Nice. Alicia's doing a dance over there. Looks good.
Eh.
I don't know what you're doing.
I was just sharing how excited I was. That's
Woo.
Cool.
with
Huh?
people who are in my office. That's pretty amazing. So
Awesome.
Yeah.
yeah,
Right
I'm
on.
gonna reach out to my people more.
Do it. You do not sell houses being a secret agent. Different business.
Yeah, secret agent.
All right. So if you do it right, a great buyer transaction. You can help that person find a home and write an offer in one day. I've successfully met somebody, showed them one house, wrote the offer, and got it under contract. My shortest time from contact to contract was 48 hours.
Wow.
Never knew the person to under contract in under 2 days.
Wow.
It can happen to you too. So where we are is in the leads funnel. We've got a bunch of leads, a bunch of names, numbers, addresses, what have you. And now we are going into the appointment. So how to secure your buyer. All right. Page number 11, converting buyer leads. So let's take turns. Amanda, you like to talk out loud? She's gonna be like,
Yeah, sure. Sorry,
okay.
it took me a minute to get to my unmute.
I understand. Guys, I'm gonna be calling on you through the class. Otherwise, I can't do all the talking, even though I want to. All right, so could you read on page 11, finding buyers, the number one and what we're doing here through the NAR stats?
Under find buyers, remember your job.
Yeah.
All right, find buyers, remember your job. Number one is lead generation. In this case, it's lead gen for buyers. After all, you can't work with buyers if you don't have any buyers. You want me to read the stats?
Yes, please.
Okay. NAR, this is based upon 2014 profile of home buyers and sellers. 88% of buyers purchased their home through a real estate agent. 40% of buyers found their agent through a referral from friends or family. 12% of buyers used an agent that they had used in the past, and 9% of buyers found an agent visiting an open house.
Yeah, I love that. So guys, how are you gonna find some buyers? Somebody throw out some ideas as to where you can find buyers in today's environment.
Social media.
Who said that? Who are you?
Me.
Okay, Alicia. And then
Alicia.
tell me more about that. What does that mean to you? Which platform? How are you doing it?
Just getting out there, going around to open houses, posting about it, sharing
Using social
listings,
media?
just getting out to people that using your media to share what you do and just to share stats, get people interested, let them know that you're an expert, just to reach out.
Okay, so I was going to kick that idea over to Eileen and say, Eileen, are you friends on or otherwise connected to all of your daughter's friends?
Some of them. I mean, a lot of them are on my regular Facebook page, and I've just created a Facebook business page. The other thing that I'm kind of focusing on right now is that I have 3 parents in their 80s. One just moved in with us, and 2 of them already lived here. And so I've been reaching out to people both through my community and my church to find out what other people are doing to care for aging parents.
That is a really, really big, that's like a whole nother mastermind right there. Yeah.
And you know, it's just something I can do to connect, to help myself and to provide support, because it's pretty overwhelming right now. And also kind of, you know, get engaged with that community and do some lead gen through that.
Okay. 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 So
most of my daughter's friends live in Los Angeles, and she lives in Austin, and I've moved from San Diego 3 years ago. So I'm working a lot of our family and friends in San Diego too, letting them know that we have, you know, KW agents down there, and when they're ready, I can get them started with somebody that they can trust and is going to really help them out.
Okay. Okay. So I've heard social media and a little bit of Sphere, it kind of sounds like, right? Sphere should be huge, guys, right? Now, if you're like me, I moved to an area without a Sphere, and I've done it twice. I had to grind out my business from the ground up, not knowing anybody. So, I mean, talk about cold calling and web leads and blah. Done it for years and years. Okay. Well, for me, it was blah. Yeah, maybe some people like it. Sphere, social media, and I heard social media mostly as like advertising your brand. What else are other ways you could find buyers? In the comments, I've seen door knocking in the neighborhood. I like door knocking. I've got a listing coming up because I door knocked around one of my other listings. I seen did open houses. All right. What else, you guys?
Well, one thing they talked about was those Popeyes where you kind of leave a little something for someone. And I'm thinking about doing that for Thanksgiving for sure. Because a lot of the peoples that are in my sphere or in my my contacts are people that I haven't seen for several months. And so I could just leave them a little something on their doorstep.
I love it. There's one other sneaky one that I'll toss in there. Is one of the best ways to get buyers as it supports the rest of your business and your marketing is to get a listing.
Yeah.
You'll have sign calls. You'll have all the good things. There's
Good.
also another one, which for some people, depending on their marketing budget, which is just, buying leads, Facebook ads, Google ads, these kinds of things, Zillow ads, other ads, lots of ads out there. Okay, so that is another way that you can find buyers, although I would not use ads as your primary way, although it is, unless you've got some money to inject into that. All right, any other questions about this particular spot right here? No? 40% of buyers are found through an agent through a referral of friends or family. Is that a very large number?
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty good. So that's a great place to start. So moving into, before we get into all of the different types, I would like to go back and do our lead generation. Wouldn't that be great?
Sure.
Yeah, you guys want to make some money today?
Yep.
Nice. So back in the day, we used to do it for 10 minutes. Is that still the case? 8 or 10 minutes?
Yeah, I think they were doing like 10 to 15.
Nice.
But whatever you want to do, we'll do it.
Nice. Oh, yeah, is that right? Okay, so let's do this. Let's take 10 minutes. Everybody mute yourselves, but leave the video on and let's see whose mouths are moving. And at the end of the day, we'll tally how many contacts. So keep track of your, here are 3 numbers to keep in track of. One is dials. The second one is contacts. And the third one is appointments. Okay. Here's what's so easy about appointment, guys. Don't overcomplicate it. Ask for a coffee. Hey, I'm in real estate. Have you thought about real estate? Would you like to go for a coffee? You guys still drink coffee? Yeah. So the other thing that I personally love, I think it's a great script, I use it all the time, is, hey, look, 2021's coming up. I'm planning my year. I just wanted to know if you had any real estate plans in 2021 that I could consider. Is this something we should talk about? You don't want to plan a vacation right when they're thinking of moving. Does that make sense? So that's a good one too. All right, guys, any other questions before we smile and dial? I'm hearing no. Make it happen. Nassim's got a good smile on him though. I like it. All right. Hey, I'm going to do it too, just so you know. I'm on board. All right, everybody, let's wrap it up. Let's wrap it up. Elizabeth, can you hear me? You have got the most concentrated eyebrows right now I've ever. There you go. Is everything okay on your end? Yeah, okay.
Yes, my kids are being loud, so I don't have my microphone on. And I'm also have another page open where I'm putting things in command, which hence the eyebrows.
Okay, I got you. Eyebrow away. Who else did I see? Okay, so as you guys are wrapping up your call, I'm going to just start chattering a little bit. Tina had mentioned in the chat, be careful buying leads. Some of them don't give you ready and able buyers, not worth the $sign. So guys, who here knows what the conversion rate of is on online leads? It's a percentage.
Maybe a couple percent.
I was gonna say, I'll give you a hint. You can do it on one hand.
Yeah, a couple.
Yeah, it is about 2%, which guys means that you need to have 100 leads to close 2 if you're good. Okay, so if you're buying leads, just know, yes, there's a quality conversation to be had there, but just know at a 2% conversion lead, it's a time function. However, let's do the math. Let's say you're getting 100 leads a month. At the end of the year, you have 1,200 leads. What's 2% of 1,200? Not bad. Over time, if those leads are nurtured consistently, you should be able to get somewhere between 4 and 5%. 4 and 5% over time. Okay, who here has a success story?
Just to make sure you're doing okay, and if there's any questions I can answer, but feel free to reach out, text me, call me, email me anytime. I'm always available.
God, who is that? That was awesome. Nassim said got an appointment. Nassim, unmute yourself and tell us the nitty gritty, brother.
Oh, it actually is a colleague of mine. I'm still holding on to my day job as I build some momentum and some income in real estate. And it's a colleague of mine who talked about, I mentioned she might want to refi her house because rates are so great right now. And she's got family in the neighborhood. Her sister just had a kid. She's actually got a couple family members in the neighborhood. So even if she's not into buying or selling, she very well may be able to give me some good leads. And, you know, we have a pretty good rapport. We've known each other for a while.
Cool.
I love that. And what is your current occupation, sir?
I am a waiter, server.
Love it. That is an excellent opportunity to network, and it already pegs you
For
as a
sure.
high functioning people person.
And I try to give
great.
out my business cards to every one of my guests that comes in.
Here's your bill and my number.
Yep.
Call
pretty
me.
much.
Which
It's right
restaurant,
next over
Nassim?
here, Cafe Soraya. It's a Mediterranean
You're
restaurant.
kidding. I love that place.
Oh, awesome.
All right,
Nice.
I'll watch for you.
I'll see you down there one of these days.
All right. The dueling solicitors in the cafe. Let's see what happens. Okay, what else? Alan's still jamming out, I can tell, but he had a big smile on his face. Who else had a success story that they would like to share?
I just got off of the phone with a lady that I contacted. It was an expired listing, and it was my first contact with her. And they have a house. It's located in Dundee, sorry.
Dundee.
Dundee, Oregon. And I was just curious about what's going on with the house, if they're still looking to relist it, kind of get her story. And she said her son lives in it currently, but long story short, they're not sure if they want to relist it, but would consider staying in contact when they are ready. So I got her mailing address, and I'm going to mail my information to her. And
I
we'll
love
see.
that. So because she didn't say no, what she actually said was yes. And the answer is keep in touch,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Outstanding. I love
I
it.
tried to get her email, but she didn't want to give it up. So,
Didn't want to give it up.
but
Well,
she
you
gave
know
her
what?
address, which is kind of strange. But
Yeah, well, you've got her, it's expired. Of course you have her address, right?
well, she gave me a different one because she's not living in that house. Her son is.
Ooh, did you know you can look at the county records, the tax records, and it will list the address of the owner?
There you go.
Oh.
Ah, as a realtor, I can find you.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got a movie coming up, a video. Before I cut him out, anybody else have a success story they would like to share?
I'll share one.
Ooh,
So this is the lady I was talking about trying to get through to for a long time. So I just called the number, and her assistant answered at the wine bar that she has. And she had mentioned last year that her and her husband were thinking about downsizing, and they have a huge vineyard and a large house. So she said, no, not for the present time. They're not really thinking about that. And, so I just reiterated, that, have they even thought about selling off some of their land? They said it's all wrapped up in the vineyard or the trust or whatever they have. Anyway, so I just asked her if, I see her all the time at her wine bar. So I just asked her if I could send her a card to her email and to keep me in mind for buy, sell, or invest.
nice. Alcohol, the great social lubricant of
That's
2020.
right.
Yeah, excellent.
So I'm just happy I got through to her because I've been stressed out about not being able to get communication, but that's a good answer, and that takes me a step forward. So I'm happy about that.
Very cool. I also like to welcome Armales Carey. Thanks for coming in. Hey, all right. No, it's
Thank you. I was here. I was just popping on and off on my phone with my daughter, trying to get her to sleep. Sorry about that.
all good. All right, I remember. Okay. And then Jeff, I don't know, we've got a good shot of his boob lamp up there. I'm not quite sure. Oh, there he is. What's going on, my man? All right. All right, so let's go on to into this video. Now, guys, I don't know how technology works on your side. So if I play this button, can you see the video and hear the sound? Do I have thumbs up on sound?
Yes.
Do I have thumbs up on video? Alan just blocked us. Hold on, Avery, do it again. You can hear and see it? Okay, wait, Tina's saying no. Tina, but you can hear me? But you can't hear the video? That is super annoying if some of you can and some of you can't.
Yeah, same here. I can't hear
Okay.
anything.
Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'll be smarter about this. Let's go like this. Do this. Do this. Do this. And if I type no sound but can hear you and see it, you don't want to hear me. If I send this link through the chat, can you all open it and we can watch it kind of together?
Yeah.
Does it make you sign in or is it just good to go?
Yeah, I'm able to open up on my end.
Working for me.
Oh, now I can hear everybody's like, all right.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Pollock, and I'd like to share tips on how to
Okay, who's not muted? Y'all, Eileen, mute yourself.
Okay.
Okay, everybody mute up, and then we'll do it. Okay, everybody give me a thumbs up when you're ready to hit play, and we'll all hit play together. This is doing my best here, y'all. Nassim, you so funny. Jeff, you know what's going on, dude? You good?
Yep.
Yep. Alan's off the phone. Alan, how many appointments did you slay?
Yeah, I'm back.
How'd you do? You were on there for a while. I heard you smiling, laughing, and saying something.
Yeah, I reconnected with an old friend. I haven't talked to him in a month or so. So it's kind of a care call.
Nice. Good job. All right. Everybody. Okay, so Alicia, you just got back on. I don't see your face, but click that link and we're going to watch that video that I just posted with Jennifer Pollock. So guys, let's go ahead. It's about a two-minute video. Let's go ahead and watch it now. Oh, she says she doesn't have a link. Okay, hold on. There you go. Paste. Boom. Sometimes we all have difficulties. All right, people. Some of you weren't not able to hear the video, other than Armless Carrie, who was not able to watch or hear the video. Well, who was not able to do their own video. So you all did it? Somebody's waving at me. Nassim's got a thumbs up. Whew. All right. So there was kind of 4 main points in that video. And what were those points? Somebody give me number 1. Alicia doesn't know. Okay, Alicia, what video we're watching? Alicia, this one. Point number 1. So am I gonna have to pick a name? All right, Amanda, what was number 1?
I honestly couldn't watch it or see it, so I had just started it on my own from the link when you were ending. So I actually heard nothing so far. I was about 20 seconds in.
Okay. Hold
Sorry.
on. I realized that I had my poor Alicia is having a rough time getting in this room here. I do not know how to put the sound on there if it's shared, but it's not sharing. You know what I'm saying?
I guess I did.
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, I have the link. I can watch it on my own, but I can't.
Okay. Well,
answer.
somebody said ask for business. Elizabeth, that is correct. Where are you, Elizabeth? Yes. Ask for business. So can we do business unless we ask for it? No. Good. What was the second question? Question number 2. Ask for an appointment, Jessica. That's funny. I was gonna say her name. All right. Avery, do you remember number 3? I think he's typing. He's got the typing tongue. Turn them into a client. Oh, Nassim beat you. All right. Yeah. Close the deal. Close for the appointment. Oh, was that Avery?
Requalify them.
Requalify them. Yeah, that's huge, right? And then what was number 4? Can you remember? Use embedded commands. Yeah, ask for referral. Right. Use embedded commands. That was the thing. Who here understands embedded commands? Give me an example of embedded commands and tell me, why do we do this kind of Yoda ninja voodoo stuff?
Yeah, what is that?
Who said that?
Eileen.
Eileen said, what is an embedded command? Who can help Eileen?
Like a leading question. It's providing someone with information that they basically subconsciously think they got to a certain place, whereas you led them there.
Okay.
Right. So an embedded command is something where we're actually going to take a purposeful pause around a phrase that it sounds kind of funny, but this is what it would be like. So Eileen, I understand you are looking to buy a house. Is that the case?
Yes, I am, as a matter of fact.
Well, that's great, because agents like me are able to help you find a home in a small amount of time and help save you money. Is that something that would work for you?
Yeah, well, we can talk about it.
I love that. Does Tuesday or Thursday work better? So an embedded command that I used was agents like me, right? That's the embedded command, is you're making a pause and inserting sort of a phrase that is helping them when you work with me, when you sell your house, when, something like that. Though that helps people because it's called a pattern interrupter. So it pauses, and then it sounds, as silly as it sounds, all they start to hear is like me, sell your house. Right?
I have a question. I went through Bold at one point.
Yeah.
And Denise Meyer said that when you're doing embedded commands, you never want to upswing your voice. You always want to downswing, instead of because you're not asking a question, you're more of telling them the way that it is.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because it's a statement rather than a question, right? Yeah. So the embedded command was just in there. It is, some people use it really well. If you notice people using it, then it's kind of funny, but good people who are very gifted salespeople will use it on you, and you don't even see it. You're like, whoa, that was awesome. All right, so guys, we got a couple comments about lenders here on the pre-qualification. Now, there's two schools of thought, and I'll give you my personal school of thought, and then you can tell me if you agree or disagree or do whatever you want with your business. If a buyer comes to me and they are willing to meet with me, they're willing to take time out of their day to meet with a realtor to pursue buying a home, and I ask the following question: well, have you talked to a lender yet, and are you pre-qualified? And they say no. Agents go one of two directions. The buyer says, no, we've not talked to a lender. Some agents will say this: listen, I'll give you the name and number of a couple of great lenders. Go talk to them, and when you're pre-qualified, come back. The other thing, which I personally exercise, is, hey, listen, I've got some great resources that we can talk about during that time. I'd like to ask you a couple of questions surrounding your financials, but otherwise, why don't we still get together and meet? And then that way, we'll have some more information going into this moving forward. Why would I spend my, now, there's a method to the madness, but why would I spend my time getting FaceTime with these people instead of sending them to a lender first? Why is that efficient?
It's just a close relationship.
Personal connecting.
Personal connecting. Okay. Yeah, I think that's it. Because here's the deal, guys. Are there more realtors or are there more lenders? Realtors. There's more realtors. Okay. So does your lender know other realtors? So what would it be like if they're like, oh, shoot, all right, well, we'll just go to a lender, we'll get pre-qualified, and that lender says, oh, do you have an agent? They're like, no, we've talked to a couple people, but I'm like, awesome, you know what you should do is you should go work with Brad. And dang it, that was my buyer. And then all of a sudden I call them up, I'm like, hey, what's going on? They're like, Brad's our real, the lender that you recommended really recommended Brad. I'm like, oh, son of a gun. Or we went with a different lender and they recommended Brad, and da-da-da-da. So I personally ask a couple of pre-qualifying questions to understand whether they work at McDonald's or IBM, and then go through that process to basically validate whether or not they're worth my FaceTime. And if I think that they have a chance in heck in buying in the next 12 months, I'm going to meet with them in person because I want to develop and cement that that face relationship. Does that make sense, guys?
Yep.
Cool. Now, not everybody's like that. And I respect that, but that's just how I got to roll. All right, let's get back on track. You know what? I was going to take a break. Guys, everybody, let's take a break. We've been in about an hour, so why don't we take a let's do 7 minutes. So at 2:17, let us resume class. Sound good?
Yep. Once you want to go out with grandma for a little while? Well, not really, because the house. Because Ron put that poison up there. Well, I just won't let him out. Or I can put him on his leash so he can hear you to be with you, but I can't let him run around that. My ears all come out.
Yeah, I forgot about it. Okay. Good.
All right, as I'm coming back, does anybody have anything they want to talk about as we have a couple minutes left? Open questions? Tina, I see you're writing. Do the daily house search. Tina, do the daily house search. Absolutely. Yeah. Why? Attached to the daily house search is your contact information. Also, you're providing him value. Does that make sense? She's like, what? Nah. Yeah, no, it is because there's two things. Tina, do you know the two ways people are motivated to act? Pain, pleasure. Stick, carrot, right? So the house buying process, as we are consumer driven, we like to buy things and acquire things, is a pleasure center. Sometimes we have to get through the pain of pre-qualification or whatever else it is to buy. And yet, when we see something that we want hard enough, we will move through the pain to get to it. Does that make sense? That's why that pleasure center is there. That's why that it keeps sending the houses, because if he sees something that's too good, then that's fine. Well, who cares if he doesn't get motivated right now? The house showing is an automatic drip, right? Oh, girl, we got to get you on an automatic drip. What MLS are you in? No, it's like this. RML. I don't know how to do the S. RMLS. Okay, you can totally set up a search firm on RMLS and send him listings. You can also do this. Can you do this through KW? I don't think so yet. But he can download your app, right? Of which you can see. But yeah, you can absolutely set up a drip system through RMLS. Ask your somebody in your office or to help you with setting that up. But it's a set it and forget it. You set the parameters, you set your search, and it goes every single day, and you don't have to touch it. That's what you want to do. Good Lord, do not manually send people listings. Blah. As more people join us, anybody have anything questions? Talk about stuff.
I have I wouldn't say maybe, what is your suggestion? The gal that I just hung up with, I wanted to get her email address so that I could add her to my database and start sending her newsletters and stay connected. And when I asked her for her email to send her reports and content regarding the market, she said, oh no, I can find all that stuff on Zillow. And I said, okay. I didn't have an objection because I'm willing to be quick on my feet. And how would you have handled that?
I prefer to give than to take. So one of my favorite lines is, hey, I tell you what, let me send you my contact information. That way you've got it. You can just search for it, whatever. What's the best email to send that to?
And this was after I got her address to mail her some my business card and a card. And then she gave me her email and said I could find that information on Zillow. Yeah.
People, that's where it's a good skill to start learning how to ask for the same thing several different ways. If I'm like, hey, Jessica, what's your phone number? Hey, what's your email? Where do you live? I'm a realtor and I just want to be your friend.
I would hang up on somebody. I would be like, bye.
Right. So the question is how do you do it in such a way that's not weird and creepy, and then also is going to help them with value? So her objection was really that of which you offered her, she could already find on her own. So that's where I go to, email, I don't know, it's easy to ignore. If I had a choice, I'd go with text, frankly, because you get their text and their phone number at the same time. I'd just be like, hey, look, let me text you my contact card. What's the best number to send it to? Do that all the time. It's a way of asking for personal information by giving, right? You might try that. For email. Yeah. I would say that's the one right now. Because I'm trying to think why I even want to email people. And other than sending them house searches, a house drip, because they're an established client or contracts, I really don't communicate by email. I know that it's all part of the data that we want to keep, but as my general practice, I don't typically lead generate through email other than an automated drip system for my campaign.
I should have just told her why. Really, I wanted to send her my newsletter and get her on my on my distribution list.
I know. I've got a great neighborhood newsletter. Only I can do. Zillow doesn't have it. Cool.
So when they do decide to put their house back on the market, maybe she'll remember my newsletter every month.
Yes. Also keep in voice contact and try, for the love of all things holy, try to get a belly to belly. Try and get a coffee in there. That is all things. All appointments lead to a belly to belly. Still, Zoom is very good, but belly to belly is the betterest. All right. Moving forward. Tina said very time consuming. Yeah, because you send them manually, you silly person. All right. So as we are going through converting leads and make it happen, One of these days I got to pick up the pace. We are going to, we're on page 12 here of like 67. So let's motor, shall we? Doing your daily 10-4. So always ask, I just want to see if you have any real estate plans coming up that I can help you with. I appreciate, I just want to see if you have any real estate plans coming up that I can help you with. I appreciate you giving that a thought. If you do come across someone, will you promise to let me know? Just a real easy way to continue embedding the idea that when somebody shows up, they should talk to you. Open houses. We did talk about open houses as a new agent is an excellent way to get business. I personally love open houses. If you do them correctly, you should be able to get at least one buyer and possibly one seller out of every single open house. And it's not that hard. It's just about the conversations that you're willing to have around that open house. So who is doing open houses right now in COVID times? Eileen, okay. Yeah, Elizabeth, okay. Who is not because of COVID times? So if somebody gave you an open house, would you all do an open house?
Yes.
Yeah, all right. So if you don't have an open house, is that because you're like, I don't have any listings? Is that what's keeping you from holding an open house? No, Avery, what's your jam, dude?
Well, I am literally going on my third week into this. So we had our open house meeting yesterday. I reached out to Mara to see if I can get on board with them, but really there's nothing holding back other than getting the initial training for the first one.
We as human beings are wired in a certain way where we must see somebody do it, and then we do it together, and then we do it on our own. And the truth is, you could train in front of a Zoom screen for days. You gotta get into the field, man. You just gotta do it, and it's not that hard. The good news is the thing that you gotta do when you're at an open house is talk to people. As an adult, I'm fully capable. I'm fully confident you are capable of getting that done. That's it. The rest will happen. The rest will happen. One of the best lines as a newer agent, because a lot of you are newer agents, write this down. I'm telling you, it saved my life. I can't tell me how many times, is that people will do business because they like you, not because of your experience. They will do business with you because they like you and trust you. That is everything. So you don't need experience. You don't need to know the answers. You don't need to have blah, 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 market, blah, blah, blah. You just need to be in front of people so that they can like you. That's it. It's literally that. It's that easy. Now, is everybody who's going to come through the door like you? Yeah, probably not. It's a percentage thing. But you got to be there. So open houses. Your office has listings. Your office has listings. Go talk to somebody whose house has been on the market or for more than a weekend and see if you can hold an open house. Don't limit your open houses to Fridays and Saturdays. Let's do an open house on Saturdays and Sundays. Do an open house on Friday night. Do an open house on Wednesday afternoon. Who cares? There's a lot of people working at home these days and like to walk the neighborhood. Yes. All right. As we're going through open house, an open house can be broken down into the following steps. Let's do Molly. You're not around. Elizabeth, can you read on page 12 the steps for an open house?
Is page 12 the page that is on your screen that you're sharing?
No.
Okay. Now is it?
No. So page 12 is in your student handbook, which looks something like this.
I will have to log into that and connect with it, which I can do and will do.
Outstanding. We will come back to you in a moment.
Excellent.
So we're still getting qualified appointment. I'm sorry. I personally find these slides to be not, yeah, we're not even there yet. They don't tend to keep up with the book very well, frankly.
Weird.
Okay, so here's what it is. Holding an open house can be broken down into these steps: preparation, marketing, connecting with visitors and asking for their contact information, and then lead cultivation and conversion follow-up. So without going, you guys will explore open houses, I think, in another module, because it doesn't have us go into depth on this. The main parts to prepare for marketing, in my personal opinion, is the neighbors. This is where you want to market to. You're going to put your open house as an online. That's going to distribute out to every other website. That's going to capture people who will come to your home. But other than that, the next place that you really want to focus your marketing on is the neighborhood. I personally door knock and canvas about, if I can do it, 100 houses radius. Okay. And I have personally very good success with finding other listings around my listing, right? So if that's the marketing, connecting with visitors and asking them for the contact information. A lot of people do a sign-in sheet. If you ask me outside of class, I will give you the way how I do my sheet, which is a survey. So I let people in the door. I say, hey, thanks for coming. Here's the information sheet on all the things about the house. And before we leave, my sellers have asked, can you please fill out the survey for them so they know what you think. On that survey, just ask some basic questions, 1 through 5. What do you think? What's the price, et cetera, et cetera. Et cetera, et cetera. And then at the end, it says, would you like me to contact you about other houses in the area? Or would you like help with buying or selling a home? It's kind of a passive way of doing it. But what I found is if I present myself in that way and people like me and they want to continue to have a relationship, then I give them the option rather than demanding it as being insistent, as you're not coming into this house until you give me your driver's license number. You know what I mean? Just how I do it. You all figure it out your own way. Okay, moving forward, number 13, find the motivated. So we're going to try and get into another movie here. Let me see if I can get this over. So I'm going to unplug. See. Alicia, I see you popping in and out. I don't know what's going on.
I think I had it figured out.
Yeah, you do? All right.
Tenacity, right?
Yeah, don't give up. Dang right. Wait. Oh, find and motivate. We did that. Where to find local market statistics on page 18. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm figuring it out. Man, it is not easy juggling all these screens. I will tell you that. It's a thing. Okay, so here we have on page 15 of the manual, we have some terms. List price to sales price. Who wants to pop that out? Jeff, I feel like you're real quiet. Oh, it's because you got a kid in front of you. All right.
List price is what it's listed for, and sales price is what it closes for.
Yeah, and then how do you express that as a ratio or a percentage?
List price to sales price once it's closed.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, it's the sales price divided by the list price, right? So we'll say, and this is a good thing for the people in the market to know. Right now, the average list price to sales price is about 101%, meaning houses are selling over listing price. Is that true in your market? Do you think that's valuable for buyers and sellers to know? Keeping track of this throughout the different price ranges, if you guys study the TMO report, is helpful. Days on market or DOM, somebody shoot that over. Alicia, since you're with us.
Days on market?
Yeah, I mean, it's a no-brainer, but I gotta ask.
I'm sorry, just however many days it takes to get the listing pending.
Yeah, it is. How many days the house has been active on the market? How many of you are in the WV MLS? Just me? All right. Well, who's that?
RMLS.
All y'all are, okay.
All y'all.
Anybody here from Bend?
I am.
He
We're in
says.
the Flex MLS, so we get Central Oregon, Southern Oregon.
Yeah.
Eugene.
Yeah, I don't know much about Flex, but I would imagine it's similar to all the rest of it. Average days
We
on
also,
market.
I think, have our MLS.
Okay. I was gonna say because the WVMLS has a really annoying status called active under contract. I'm not gonna talk about it if you don't.
Weird.
Yeah, we're done. Okay, average days on market. Jessica, what do you think that is?
It's the total amount of homes that divided by the days.
Yeah, simple. Yeah. Why is that helpful? Why do we want to know this number?
To create urgency.
Well, if your seller is expecting to sell their home in a month and the average days on market is 3 months for their particular house, do you think that would be valuable information to set their expectations?
Mhm.
Yes. What about a buyer? What if a buyer's like, well, I'm just gonna look and I'll, find something. I'm not really serious. And you're like, dude, average days on market right now is like 40.
Right. Right.
Like, you got to get in or else you're not serious. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and it also helps, I think, to know like they have to have everything lined up ahead of time. Like talk to your lender, let them know when you're going to look at a place. That way you already have your pre-approval. Send it right on over if you want to write the offer.
Yep. You're totally right. Bins. Where's Eileen? Oh, yeah. Well, no. Yeah. No. Tina, what do you think a BINS is? This one's for you. It's an acronym. She's typing. She's got the screwy typey face. Is it the back on market? No, it's in fact Buyer Instant Notification System.
What?
They got a whole category just for you. Yes, and this is where there's a search that automatically sends houses to a client. Buyer Instant Notification System. I know I pick on you, right? IDX. Alan, what do you think?
Index, I don't know.
Very close. Internet Data Exchange. And what this really is, at the end of the day, it's the data that is, you guys all know that with the exception of for sale by owners and a couple other items, that all data that's on Zillow and all the other websites, Realtor, everything else comes from your MLS, correct? Which means everything you put on MLS has to be sent out to these other websites. So the internet, the IDX is the Internet Data Exchange. That's the mechanism of which the information flows out towards the public. Make sense? Great. Okay, so let's get into page 16, market statistics. So you guys, I believe, had a mission that was to bring in some statistics for your particular market. Did anybody get their homework done?
I didn't see that.
Ooh, Elizabeth. Tell me about some of your statistics.
Okay. I made a Facebook post this morning. So I'm gonna go to where that is. Okay. So the median sales price by year in Washington County. And it shows a graph from the year 2000 to 2020 and shows a little graph that is on the up and up since September and above all the other years. Would it help to, how would I show you what I'm looking at?
It's good. Let me ask you this. Do you know the list price to sales price average in Washington County?
I'm looking at the median sales and price change, so no.
Okay. What about the average days on market?
That would be on the sheet that I know it's under 10 just from knowing, but looking at
Elizabeth, did you get that from the total TMO thing this week?
I got it from the RMLS statistics website.
Oh,
So
Eileen, you 100% nailed where I was about to go, which is the TMO. Who here in this room does not know or does not know how to read a total market overview or TMO report? Elizabeth, did you have
I don't
it?
know where to get it.
Say again?
I don't know where to get it.
It is sent to you through your market
An
center.
email, right?
Yeah, the DFI or the MCA will send it to you.
Oh,
It should be in your email.
Yep, and it should come through once a week, and it should say in big caps letters TMO report.
Okay.
Cool. Take a look at that, and then let's get back. Good. So, as a professional now, guys, here's the deal. You're helping people with anywhere from $250,000 to $750,000 or more $1 million purchase, and so it's reasonable for you guys to understand some basic numbers of your market. Totally, it does, because you are the professional. So knowing your area and knowing what these numbers are, average days, list price to sales price, pricing trends, this is very valuable for you because the most common question people get out in public or from friends is, so what's going on in the market these days? And you're like, wow, let me puke some statistics over to you real quick. All right, any questions about page 16? Awesome, moving on, page 17. What is a geographic farm? Mona, are you still with us?
Yes, I'm still with you.
What is a geographic farm?
That when you take a certain area and you walk in the neighbor distributing flyers or listing or trying to get some buyers.
Okay, now how would you define, first of all, if you were to farm, to do a geographic farm, how would you define your boundaries? What would make you market to a certain area and why?
This is the title company usually help me if I'm going to ask them for a certain address, and if I want to go around this address, they will check around the ratio of this area, how they are into movement. So they will give me if it's a good area to walk in or I need to find another area.
Okay, that's good. I hear what you're saying about around a listing, but a farm is a little bit different. This is targeted marketing. Okay.
in a class. I don't understand why you're in here. You hear me? Sorry.
Where are we? All right. So geographic farm is really when you are marketing to a certain community. So, and a geographic meaning place-based. So a perfect example would be something like, you know, a 55 plus older like area, you know, a physical area, or a school district, right? That would be a good one. Or a certain HOA, you know, a special like golf course neighborhood, something like that. That would be a perfect geographic farm area. And why is that helpful? You know, what would you do with that information in being the professional for the area, right? You can help buyers with that. You can help sellers with it by being a professional of your geographic farm. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. What else? So if you were farming an area, what are some local resources that you could use for your geographic farming? What are some things that you could dive into here? Put yourself in the buyer's shoes. What areas would you want to know about that you're moving to?
How to choose the area, you mean?
Yeah. So what are some information that you might want to know?
Okay. Would like to know, for example, the wages, their income. You can get this in this area if they are single or married.
Yeah. So maybe like what's the average income of the area?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that will probably be determined by the house price, won't it? Yeah. What about things like grocery stores? Is that important to you? important to me. I need somewhere to shop. What about schools, school locations, parks, right? Are these things that are important to a neighborhood?
Yeah.
Community resources. Does this neighborhood have a pool exclusively to the Westwood Estates? This is important. Yeah, cool. Okay, so this is where we're going to check out some of our own local market statistics. Do I want to do this? Okay, how many of you are in the Flex MLS? Hands up. Flex MLS people? None of you? I know some of you were from Bend. Okay, all the rest of you are RMLS, is that correct?
Yes.
All RMLS. Okay, well, this should be pretty easy. Okay, I don't have this ability because I'm not in core. Well, you say RMLS. How many of us are Eugene based? 3, 4, and then we've got 4 up in Portland, something like that. Okay, can you guys hold on? Let me see if I know how to do this. I don't know if I can do breakout rooms. They gave me the power.
Maybe if you want to go for RMLS and we share the screen.
RMLS and share the screen. Yeah, I could do that. All right, let's do it. Let's do it. We'll do a group breakout. Okay. Bear with me, guys. I got to shuffle some screens around here. Okay, so in looking at the RMLS, and this is something you guys are all familiar with, we can do a quick map search. I think will probably give us a fair amount of the data that we're looking for. Now, a map search is handy for geographic areas. So who's familiar? I personally live in Salem, so RMLS is something that I have. I'm part of. It is not my bread and butter. Who knows a really great section of their area that they could help me navigate? Nice, Eileen, what do you got? Got to unmute my here. I got you.
3715. Can you hear me?
Yep, go ahead.
3715 Pepper Tree Drive. And it's Eugene, 97402. It's a Pepper Tree is one word.
Look about right. Yeah,
Yep.
see it?
Right by Churchill High School, yeah.
So is this like a nice little neighborhood?
Yeah, it's got a whole bunch of little cul-de-sacs, 3-2s.
Is this
Family.
neighborhood distinguishable and different than sort of this block and this block over here?
It's definitely different as you go west because it gets up into larger like properties with a lot more land. As you go west or south, it definitely changes between those neighborhoods as well.
Okay, so would you say so along Bailey Hill, Kevington, up Hawkins Lane to Oak Patch, this all kind of relatively, this area is all about the same?
The area, like the homes, I would say between where they live over to the 569 are about the same. As you go up into the hills, up Bailey Hill Road, they get larger and more expensive.
Okay, so you're saying like this area. So if I was to draw a box, am I doing this? Whoops. This is about the same?
I'd go a little more to the right. And then maybe not so far to the left. Oops. Can't read what those streets are.
Oak patch. Let's just do it. Let's see what's happening, okay? All right. So, oh, I've got extra criteria in here I need to get rid of. Where's my criteria? Residential, active, pending, let's do bumpable, sold. Let's get this price point out of here. Do auction all months back. Let's do 6 months, shall we? Let's just do all. Wait a minute. Oh. What?
$20,000.
20?
I don't think it's good.
No, that's like, it's like 20 million.
Is it?
Yeah.
I can't. It's so small. I can't see it.
Active, bumpable, pending, sold, residential. All bedrooms, none. Oh, acres. Here we go. There we go. Okay, so here we've got we've got a really micro market. This is a small geographic area, but here it does give us some statistics, doesn't it, guys? Here there's only 2 active. That's not very many. But it does tell us some of the statistics around this, including the square foot, how long they've been on the market. As we move into the pending range, a little bit more details around the days on the market, as well as the price, which is, it says here in the book on page 18, your average sales price, how many days you've been on the market, and then your list price to sales price ratio, which we'll get into on the solds. So average days on the market, 34, median 19, average square foot list, 241, average sold, 243. Are they selling for over listing price? Yes or no on average? Yeah, right? So you could divide that into it to find out it's about 101% or 100.1%. So that, just by doing a quick snapshot, didn't really take us too long. And then of course the total number of listings, and we went back, but here's the deal. There's only 2 active. There's only 2 active. Now, have you guys been into Command very much, and do you use and understand the neighborhood function of Command?
I tried it a couple times in there.
Okay. Okay. Would it be helpful for me to take 2 seconds to show this to you so you guys can set up neighborhood drifts?
I'd like that because
Oh.
it's a little confusing,
It sometimes.
especially if you're not from here.
What do you mean from here?
But I don't know, everyone else might understand it.
I gotta be careful about my time, guys, because I tend to talk a lot and well, I want to get through the content. I owe that to you guys. Okay, so really quick, if we go into people, where's my people? Contacts. You have to have an address for the person in order for them to have a neighborhood search, okay? All right, and I think my man Aaron Witt here does have one. So let me check this out. Okay, so you can see here I have Aaron's street right here, right? It's on, well, we call it Crouchin, but it's Cruchon. Turns out that's a wine grape. I didn't know. So you're on Cruchon Street. And if I go to add a neighborhood, and I'll show you what this looks like, I can find, so I can search for a neighborhood. If I know what it is, it's blah, blah, blah neighborhood. I can type it out. I can find it on a map. I love this because then I can just simply type in the address and what is it? 859 Crouchin Street. There it is. It populates. There it is. Boom. Okay. And then you can see here, as I zoom in, it shows all of the little neighborhoods. Now, I don't have to add just one neighborhood. I could add 4 neighborhoods. It doesn't really matter. But you can see here he's in Eola Heights Plus. So as I select that neighborhood and save it, it's now going to have his neighborhood, which you can see right here on my screen, up top, right?
Yeah.
Here's what's super cool and easy. As long as you have an email address for the guy, I can go to my smart plans, add to smart plans. It's already baked into my monthly neighborhood. Yeah, I select it, start the plan. I can start it now. Oh, wait a minute. Let me see. Isn't it giving me a chance to review it? And it does. But basically, you can say here is that every 30 days, it's going to send out a monthly neighborhood update of their neighborhood. Question, guess what statistics are on that neighborhood update plan? How many houses are on the market? What are the sales prices? Averages? All it's right there. And this gets sent out automatically.
Is that something that you're creating from the TMO report, or it gets sent automatically? That's where I
No, it's sent out automatically. You do not create anything at all. Keller Williams has done it all for you. The best way to understand the content that you are sending is to set yourself up an account and receive your own plans. I do that for myself, and I don't send anything to anybody that I wouldn't send to myself and be like, oh, that's what it looks like. Guys, Keller Williams command is in development, is it not? Sometimes it's buggy. So you want to make sure that you look at it and approve it for yourself. Make sense?
Cool.
All right. Nassim's coming back in.
Is there a cost for the smart plan?
Say what? Who said that? Jessica, what?
Jess, does Keller Williams charge us for the smart plan? Is this a mailer that gets mailed to the customer?
It's an email.
Or the client? Oh, email. Okay, I missed that.
And if I'm smart, I'll see if I can find one that I would like to, not Abby, no, not Abby. I'd like to think I could find one, and then I think I can show you the email of what it actually looks like.
Yeah, that would be helpful.
Yeah, I don't know if I know how to do that. I'm trying to think of some past. Maybe Kathy, I set her up. I think I did. Okay, here we go. Monthly neighborhood update. And I can see that she read it for October.
Oh, nice.
Ooh. So this is one of those set it and forget it things. I have no idea what it's doing. Hold on. Really?
Sorry if I sent you down a rabbit hole.
Yeah, well, you know how it is. Kathy. Whoops. Katie, Kathy. I think it sends me. Oh, Kathy D. Okay, hold on a second. I think it CCs me in my account, but I'm actually not 100% sure. And of course, it's like super extra slow because of Zoom. So we're rabbit holing. Send it to yourself and then go from there. Yes, make sense?
Thank you for the efforts.
Okay. We'll kind of put this on standby and see if it'll, we can come back to it. Okay, back to our lesson here. Nassim had a computer crash. It's all good. Okay, so that's some research. Guys, I think the only other thing is how many of you have not seen or do not understand how to read a TMO report? Alicia, one. Anybody else? You guys are good? Okay. Well, let me see if I can grab one. My email's still like,
I've seen them, but I'm not sure I know how to exactly read them. I'd like to be able to pull some statistics from them to send out in an email, you know, like a little Facebook post, but I guess it would be helpful to know which is the most important information to grab 3 or 4 of them.
Okay, I'm going to work on that in the background, guys, because we're detracting from the lesson a little bit. I just got to ask your permission if it's okay if we either spend a little bit extra time at the end of class going through the course, because if I'm showing you this material, is that okay? Nobody cares. Everybody's like, I got a hard out at 4. I'm going to the vineyard. That's what I'm doing. All right. So let's keep going. Page 19, qualify and schedule buyers for the consultation. So qualify them. Are they actual buyers? And then get them an appointment for the buyer's consultation. So why do we qualify them first? Well, we qualify them first to avoid wasting time with them. If they're working at McDonald's and they don't have money or a down payment to buy a house and they don't have debt to income to qualify, that's very hard for them to buy a house. So asking some basic questions. Here are the 3 things that I asked that gets me through a lot of heartache later on. And by the way, this is sort of like a mini pre-qualification for your lender. Number 1 is, hey, so where do you work? Right, this is going to give you an idea of what kind of job they hold and what kind of income they do. Also, the second question is, how long have they been there for? They need to have job history. The third thing I ask is, if you had to guess, where do you think your credit score would be? And then if I'm really feeling bold, I'll say, well, you know, do you have any money or any availability for gift funds if in the event we were looking for a down payment? This will give you an idea of whether or not you would like to work with this person. Make sense? Okay. So when buyers call on a property they saw online or by driving by, they're going to be calling you from a sign call. So let's do, Amanda, are you in the mood to read? No, she's chewing, so that's a bad idea. So
reading an orange.
I love it. All right, can you read when buyers call on a property they saw online or by driving by, the 2 points there underneath it? We're on page 19.
Mm-hmm. When buyers call on a property they saw online, is that what you said?
Yeah.
Okay. This sounds like an instant client, right? No. Buyers who are calling on properties often have 2 goals. 1, eliminate the property with a quick call. With a quick call, they want to determine if the house has potential. If it doesn't, they don't have to see it. Number 2, eliminate you. Until they are ready to make a move, they want to avoid salespeople.
Guilty. All right, keep going.
Okay. So how do you accomplish your goals first? By using scripts that give buyers the information they are looking for on a property, but at the same time enable you to find out enough information about them and demonstrate your value before they eliminate you.
Right. Okay. On page 20, we've got a NAR fact. Jeff, would you like to read our NAR fact today?
Sure. According to the 2014 NAR profile of home buyers and sellers, 2 out of 3 of all buyers interviewed only 1 agent.
Yeah, guys, that's amazing. So just by talking to someone, you're like 60% gonna get that job. You know what I mean? And let's just pretend they go out on a limb and they talk to 2 people. Well, then you're like 50%. So it's really good odds. That's why engaging in conversations and getting in front of people, they're so much more likely to follow through with you. Yep. Nice. Let's go through qualify. Who do we have here in our room? Nassim, we haven't heard from you in a while. Would you please read us the points on qualification on page 20?
Sure. Use the buyer lead sheet on the next few pages, yada, yada, yada. Establish control of the conversation when a buyer calls by asking question about price, motivation, location, wants and needs, timeline, finances, and availability.
Yeah, it works for me. It resonates for me. Everybody else feel good about that? Nice. 2/3 of agents. So a buyer consultation, what is it? Who is familiar with a buyer consultation? This is free. All right, this is great. So a buyer consultation at the end of the day is really an interview with a buyer. Now, let me ask you something. If you were listing a home, wouldn't you go to the home and have a meeting with the listing agent before you bought your signs, or no, with the seller before you bought your signs and plugged in the marketing, right? In other words, before you have start spending money on that person, you're going to have a contract with them. Well, at Keller Williams, we teach the same thing, which is to have a contract with our buyers, and that's really part of the buyer consultation process. In other words, how could you possibly work for somebody if you don't know anything about them, right? Make sense? So on page 21, we have a buyer lead sheet. This is a great sheet to print out, have a stack of them by your phone or wherever your office is or in your car, so that you can ask these questions to any buyers that you might be running into. So sign calls, web leads, people who are like, hey, I'm thinking about purchasing a home. What can you tell me about the market today? This is a great sheet to keep track of them so that as you're writing things out and asking the questions, you can plug it into your CRM so you can have the data everywhere you go. So what's on here? Lots of great stuff, such as, now we're not there. Has an agent taken you out and shown you any properties? Yes and no. Why is that an important question? What do you think, Avery?
Years.
Like if you want to capture them, you're going to do what it takes.
Yeah, dude. Well, okay, but also like, has any agents been taking you out to show properties? You're like, yes. We're like, oh snap, I'm not the only one. I better understand whether they're available or if they're just trying to get me to show them a one house while their agent is out of town. Nothing boils your blood than spending your time showing houses and then having some other dude write the contract, right?
Right. I had this potential.
My cousin's a realtor. We just wanted to see it.
I had this potential listing that didn't happen because they already had a realtor. But I just left it on a good note that, hey, I wish you the best of luck. And if I said, you know what, there are a lot of great houses in the market to buy. Just make sure your realtor is giving you the best knowledge. And I left it at that. And I mean, they were good friends, so it was cool.
Yeah. You'll find as you go through your sphere that just about everybody knows 2 or 3 realtors. So the question is that are you strategic about having them like you the best? And you can do that several different ways. Emails are great, gifts are great, events are great. And you're not going to get all of them all the time, but you got to be there for as many as you can. You know what I mean? Okay, so this is a great question as we go through there. Is there anybody else buying the home with you? Really good question. Oh, it's my mom, and she's in California. And oh my God, oh my God. How long have you been looking? All these are great questions. So, oh heck, let's just run through them. Let's say, Elizabeth, you got bandwidth to read page 22? Do it. Number 6, go. I can't hear you, lady. If you press and hold your space bar, it will unmute you temporarily.
Okay, I will try that. Are you renting or do you own now?
Rent.
Keep rent. Renter, do you know when your lease is up, or if they're an owner, do you need to sell your current home before you buy your next home? And if yes, have you signed a listing agreement with a real estate agent to sell your home? If no, when would be a good time for us to get together so I can give you free market analysis on your home?
Yeah, I love it. It's a dang roadmap, right? Nuri, I don't think we've talked to you yet. Hello. Nuri, would you like to read number 7 on page 22, please?
Sorry, I wasn't feeling well, so I had to disappear for a bit.
Oh, that's okay. Are you feeling well enough to read?
Yeah, it's a little bit better. Yes,
All right.
a little bit. Where am I at? I'm sorry.
Yeah, no problem. Page 22, number 7.
Okay. Are you going to be paying cash or will you be getting a mortgage for the purchase of your home? Mortgage, have you already been pre-approved by a lender? If yes, who are you working with? What is the amount you pre-approved for? What will your down payment will be? If you want to recommend a lender, I have the 3 trusted lenders who always provide the top quality service. Would you like their contact information?
Yeah, and then, hey, Jessica, do you mind if I email you that information? Huh?
Please do.
I'm just messing with you. All right, keep going here. Keep going, Nuri.
Okay. Number 8, what price range are you comfortable with? Number 9, is there anyone who else will be involved in your home buying decision? And number 10, on a scale 1 to 10, with 10 meaning you must buy a home as quickly as possible, and I meaning you are not sure, and 1 meaning you're not sure you're really buying anything, how would you rate yourself?
Excellent. Alicia, would you like to take us out and finish off 11 and 12?
Yes, I can do that.
I have a talent.
Yeah.
Oh,
it
you do have a
says
very good tone.
Admin staff and assistant team leader.
Okay.
What you should be able to do, if I remember correctly, and I may be
Page
wrong,
22, 11 and 12.
There should be like a
When you need to be, when do you need to be in your new
permissions
home?
or update roles or
And then
something
12
at
is,
the top of that,
I'd
where
love
should
to
be
help
able
you
to
buy a
add
home.
everything else.
In order to
Because
help
the
you
app- the
find a
ATL
perfect
has to be
home,
done at the regional
all we need to
level.
do is set an appointment with all of our decisions so I can help you get what you want in the time.
Yep, that one. And then
What is
he
better
needs
time
compliance if he wants
for
do
us to
anything
meet
with,
at?
Blank time or day, blank day. Yep.
Thank you.
Commissions or anything like that.
Right. Perfect. And then at the bottom, they've got appointment day and time. Right? Is this an awesome thing for you to have when you're talking to buyers? Yeah. Now it's also asking for a lot of personal information, isn't it? You know, if they're not your sphere, this is a lot to talk about. So what you can do, and what I have to do, is always just preface it by saying, hey guys, you know, by nature of the situation, I may be asking some personal information. Is that okay? It's asking permission, and then right away they're gonna be like, oh yeah, sure. I'm like, great, what's your credit card number? So on Nassim, I gotta ask you, due to legality issues, what?
Oh, you were talking about why would you ask if they've been being shown homes by somebody else?
Not legal, wasting time.
Well, sure, yeah. Conflict of interest of your time and somebody
Conflict of
else's
interest, you could
commission.
call that. Yep, cool, good one. Moving forward, page 23. What did that say? Oh, we're gonna rate buyers into ABCs. All right, we're gonna work into a classist system. So, Nassim, since you're online, what is an A buyer?
A buyer, they are able, ready, and willing to purchase. They will be under contract in a matter of weeks.
That is correct. Avery, what would you call a B buyer? Awesome. Next time, let's do it again with you.
Let's undo. All right, let's try this again. I hit the pause button, then it prompted me another screen. I wasn't paying attention to that.
Oh, good.
They're ready and willing, but not able to now. Something has to happen first. Get their existing home under contract, wait for their lease to expire, or get the cash from their tax refund, etc.
Yeah. So they're ready and willing, but not able. Will they be asking you to show them houses? Yeah, dude, they
More than
definitely
likely.
might be. Okay, we'll talk about the B buyer trap here in a minute. Okay, C buyers, let's hear from Mona.
Yes. I don't have the material in front of me, actually. I'm just listening to you.
Oh, okay, all right. Who else? Let me see here. You know what we've not heard from? I'm sorry, the screen. Eileen, C buyers.
Unmute. Sorry. They have no immediate need. They may have a very exacting situation. For example, if they can sell their property for a specific price or get a house on a street they've always loved.
Yeah, now didn't we have some C buyers here today? I've been trying to call them for 2 weeks. They won't return my call. They've got to do something with the stuff, right? So that's a C buyer. Here's my advice to you guys, is that be very, very careful who you let in your car and who you spend your time with. The number one trap I see new agents fall into is they treat B and C buyers like A buyers. In other words, they will take people who will not have the means. Usually they're not able to qualify in order, but they want you to show them a house.
Yeah.
Do not show them houses unless they're A buyers, okay? Very simply, it's a rule of substitution. You cannot work with A buyers if you're working with B buyers. And if you don't have any A buyers, you need to either move a B to an A or you need to prospect for A. All right? We'll all do it. We'll all waste your time with a B buyer. You'll call me, you'll tell me the story of this B buyer. It's okay. But if you can, stick with A buyers in your car and B buyers just wait. Make sense?
Yep.
Awesome. Number 24, qualify financially. So do we care about this? Yes, we're going to, the difference between a pre-qualification and a pre-approval is slight. I'm not going to go into it because for the purposes of this class, it doesn't really matter. A pre-approval or pre-qualification will do nicely. However, let us talk about the benefits of a pre-approval. So who have I not picked on in a while? Perhaps Amanda, who's hanging out by the Golden Gate. Let's do the script on page 24.
Okay. Quick question, first of all. Do you happen to know if there is a printable version of the buyer lead sheet where we could find that?
Yes.
Okay. Where would that be?
Let's have it.
Hand it over.
Okay. They move stuff around.
I can ask Mara too if you don't know, like off the top of your head, she might be able to share it with us.
I do know it's in the Keller Williams buyer consult. Let me see if I can flip a link to you by the end of class, okay? Remind me to make that happen for you, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Good.
Okay, and then where are we at now? Page 20?
Yeah, sure. Page 24, and just the script in the middle of the page.
Yep, okay. All right, Mr. Mrs. Buyer. So Devin, Mr. Devin, it's important that you are pre-approved for a loan before we begin your search. Pre-approval is really just a lender's determination of how much money you will be eligible to borrow. You'll know exactly what price range you can afford. When you find the home you love, you'll be able to take action quickly. Sellers will be more likely to accept an offer from a pre-approved buyer. And finally, you can see if there are any errors on your credit report that you can resolve, and you can resolve them right away. Would you like to have one of my lenders, would you like me to have one of my lenders call you to help with your pre-approval? When's the best time?
Cool. Does that make sense, guys? Are you seeing the value of a pre-qualification? Does anybody have any problems with having buyers pre-qualify as part of the process? Okay, awesome. 7 critical points in the mortgage process for, Keller Williams has Keller Mortgage. I'll give you a little hack. Who here knows their Keller Mortgage website link code off by heart? Right? So here's what I've done, and then you can do it too. I went to GoDaddy and I purchased a website called appforhouses.com. And I've linked my, that's my other app. It's, I have done, anyway, I bought a website, and that way, instead of telling, it's something like get pre-approved first or something like that. So I've done a website, and so that way, when I send people to my website, I can market a website that links directly to my Keller Mortgage application, rather than have to give them this weird link with a code attached. Make sense? Cost me $6 per year, and all I have to do is basically reroute that www.devinsmortgage.com to the Keller Mortgage link, if that makes sense. You can do the same thing with your app, which I've done. So if you were to download my app at, kw.app/kz2z22ppx, well, that's hard for people to understand. So you do the same thing, in Nassim's awesomeapp.com, and you click and it downloads. Okay, so something to think about. So 7 critical points in the mortgage process for realtors on page 25. I'm going to see if we care. I'm going to say no. Right now we don't, but I think what you need to know is as you're new, understand, and this is the number one thing that I had to learn how to do, is how to understand a loan from the closing date backwards. Not from the contract price forwards, but from the closing date backwards. Once you understand that process, your life will be like, and you'll be able to, in fact, set all of the expectations you need to when you're writing an offer. Understand the loan process from the closing date backwards. Okay, so we are on page 28, get the appointment. Now that we have qualified them and determined their ability, readiness, and willingness to purchase a home, it is time to close for the appointment. So let's play. Nassim, let's run through the rest of the page on 28.
All right, 28. So we're talking about schedule the appointment. Or you do want to start at the top with a buyer.
Yeah, a buyer, go ahead.
All right. Based on the qualification, you'll vary your follow-up. If you got an A buyer, get them in the car immediately. If you have a B buyer, identify what needs to happen first, and then help them achieve their goals. Put them in your database on an 8x8 touch campaign based on their interest, and keep in touch. If it's a C buyer, manage them electronically by putting them in your database and on an 8x8 and then a 33 touch campaign. Keep yourself top of mind for when they're ready to move forward. If this buyer lead came to you based on the buyer calling in on a certain property and the home happens to be in their price range, make an appointment for them to see the property and have a consultation.
Yeah, keep going.
All right. Schedule the appointment for the buyer consultation. The script starts off with the property at 123 Maple Street is listed at $249,000. Let's schedule an appointment to see if 123 Maple Street is the perfect home for you. Would today at 4 p.m. or Saturday at 10 a.m. be better for you? Great. Let's meet at my office. So while we are out, you can also review other properties on the multiple listing service that you might be interested in if Maple Street isn't right for you. Does that work for you?
Yeah, slick script, right? Let's go see that house and a couple others. Let's meet in my office and chat about it. How are you supposed to work for them if you don't know, right? Any questions on page 28, people? Moving forward. Buyer referral. If you have called a referral and the buyers are really willing to answer the questions, stay on the phone with you, then they have the potential to be a serious buyer. Demonstrate that your service is valued, blah, blah, blah. All right. Page 29 talks about a referral. Here's the thing that I'll say about a referral is don't treat it like anybody really different. It's just, you've got a standard. I got a bug flying around. You got a standard of service. So just the buyer referral should be the same treatment. Go through that same buyer qualification script, all that other thing. Here's the one thing that I would do differently with a buyer referral is I would reward the person who referred you that buyer. Reward them. We're talking Pavlov dog, people. We're talking they gave you a referral and you give them a treat. Okay, whatever that means for you and your people, that's fine, but give them a treat and reward that behavior. Does that make sense? And do it ASAP. I personally use a flower delivery service. I call them up. The owner knows me by name. He's like, hey, Devin, what's going on? I'm like, I need flowers and a bottle of wine to this address, and say, thank you for referring. She usually gets it out there the same day. I am training them to give me referrals for the rest of their life. Understood? Yeah. All right. Buyer consultation. Page 30. Let me see here. Tina, you want to read? Or would you rather type? What'd you say?
I don't have my book in front of me.
Okay. I am learning. This is a thing. Please stand by for. I'm gonna do this. Hold on. Just a minute, guys. Awesome. All right. Well, let's start from okay. Next time, guys, please have your book. There should be a link in front, and if you don't know where to go to mykw.kw.com under the education tab, and you will find the Ignite class as well as all the student resources as well as the video. I believe this class is being recorded. Nassim, you had asked, and I'm assuming Mara will make that available to you. I do not know. Buyer consultation. So here we are for the buyer consultation. Avery, would you please read for us on page 30, number 3, buyer consultation, the whole page?
The buyer consultation is a tremendous opportunity to pave the way to an effective and long-term relationship with buyers. During your meeting with the buyers, your goals are to 1, delve into the needs, wants, and values of your buyers. 2, showcase your services and educate and set expectations for how you will work together. 3, walk away with a signed agreement, the buyer representation agreement. The buyer consultation is what customer experience is all about. You are devoting your full attention to your buyers, which shows that you care deeply about finding them the right home. You're bringing your complete skill set to the table, which demonstrates your ability to provide the kind of expertise and perspective that will enable them to make confident, informed decisions. The buyer consultation is possibly the most critical point when working with buyers, because it is how you will turn your appointment into a signed buyer representation.
Correct. During the lead funnel, we are now into the agreement process. Okay. This goes back to my previous comment, which is you would never pay for professional photography for a listing that you don't have a contract with. Alicia, I see you, just one moment. So we treat buyers the same way. It is a discussion among realtors. Not everybody does this process. I personally have been mentored in this process and have been practicing it since I started in 2013. I can tell you that with absolute certainty, that if you do this properly, and when you become good at it, you will have higher buyer loyalty and higher retention among your clients. There's a lot more, I think, professional respect for you demonstrating your value. The idea of putting a buyer under a contract is not as scary as it sounds like. It's really not for some people. At least just, okay, got you. I got you. Okay, so let's move forward to the buyer consultation. This consultation on page 31, and it's going to go for a couple of pages. We're not going to go into them all the way here. This is also available to you. Pull out. No, it says for you guys to pull out copies of your buyer's presentation. Do you know where to find this buyer's presentation? Alicia says yes. You guys are saying yes. So generally, I'm going to say Mara's done a good job of providing this information to you. So everybody has their own way of doing a presentation. I personally do mine on a PowerPoint rather than a booklet. So we'll kind of go through that. But let's just talk about what's in there. So page 31, set the stage. This is the introduction. You have one time to make a first impression. Take the time to show them you appreciate them, listen, and clarify what they're looking for in a home and what they expect from a professional relationship. All right, Amanda, could you read us page 32?
Yes. Sorry, it's kind of loud in here. Okay, so do you want me to start with this, the first page the buyer will read, or just it's all about you?
Just the little caption up top, and we'll go from there.
All right. This is the first page the buyer will read. This will set the tone for your entire relationship with them. You want to provide an excellent customer service experience by making the process about the buyer.
Absolutely. Jeff, let's go 33.
This second page will explain the benefits of working with you. This is where you will be able to sell the superior customer service experience.
Yeah, absolutely. This is what you get from me. Thanks, Amanda. Hey, Jeff, can you read me page 34?
Educate your buyers. Information is power. The buyer who wants to know what to expect is a confident buyer. And a confident buyer is much easier to work with than an anxious or uncertain buyer who will bring up objections at crucial points in the process. Set them up for success by explaining major milestones they will encounter.
Absolutely. My personal business philosophy, guys, is that you as an adult are able to make adult decisions. My job is to give you the information you need in order to make those decisions. That's how I run my business. And so really educating the buyer or the seller on what's happening in the market is going to be your value. Does that make sense? That's really what it is. Okay, 35 is a continuation. Thanks, Jeff. We're gonna go page 36. Alicia, you wanna read 36?
Okay. It is especially useful to cover this part of the process if your buyers have not yet been pre-approved for a loan. If your buyers are still dragging their feet on getting in touch with a lender, use the earlier script to show off the benefits of pre-approval. If they still won't do it, you do not want to work with this buyer.
Yeah, money can be uncomfortable for some people to talk about. Here's how I've learned to work with buyers the best is that it's not about the purchase price. It's about the amount of cash out of their pocket and the monthly payment they will be paying with. Because let's be honest, guys, when's the last time you bought a $350,000 anything? Our brain can't figure it out. We don't know how to relate it to life. All we care about is cash out of pocket and our monthly payment. True? Talk with your lender and understand how to have this conversation with your buyer. So it's guide your buyers towards that payment cash conversation rather than the purchase price conversation. All right, 38. Let's go with Elizabeth.
Start making an offer meeting. Explain to your buyers that do a comprehensive, comparative market to CMA before they make the offer. That will give them the knowledge they need to make the informed decision.
Right. In today's world of AVMs or automated valuations, they might be like, well, Zillow says, or Realtor says. That's great. You guys still have an obligation to make sure that the offer that you buyers are putting in will still be supported by appraisal. Make sense? CMA is covered in another class. However, it's a good thing to know how to do. Thank you very much, Elizabeth. Explain closing. So 39. Eileen, do you mind? Gotta unmute yourself, honey.
Sorry.
It's all good.
Explain closing. You will want to give the buyers an estimate of closing costs so they aren't surprised when they come to the closing table.
Holy smokes. The number one thing that I hear from pre-qualified buyers is, what are closing costs?
Yeah.
They're how much?
Yeah.
For sure. So guys, just as a basis, closing costs for a home are the prorated taxes and insurances, as well as title and lender fees. And they are approximately 3% of the purchase on a $400,000 home. You're looking at 10 to 12 grand. Is this significant money? Yes. Do the buyers need to know about it? Yes. Usually the realtor is the one who brings it to their attention. So if they've saved up exactly 5% for a down payment and they come to you and say, what are closing costs? You're like, don't worry, the seller can cover them in the contract. That puts your buyer at an automatic disadvantage in today's market, right? So having the closing cost conversation with your buyers is a powerful one and something that will save you a lot of heartburn as you move through the process. Everybody wants to understand. Cool. Let's do the closing cost scripts. Tina, or do you have the material or not? I forget. Okay, Nuri, do you have the material or if not? I forget. Okay, you want to read the closing cost script on page 40, please?
Mr. David, before we tour the homes, let's discuss the closing costs. Generally, if you put 20% down on a house, you can expect your closing cost to be an additional 3% of the purchase price. So if you're purchasing a $200,000 home house, the down payment will be $40,000 and the closing cost will be an additional $6,000 for a total amount of $46,000. If you put down less than 20%, your closing cost may be as high as 4%.
Keep going.
There are two options for buyers who may not have enough money for closing costs. These options are more likely to work with in a buyer's market. First, ask sellers to cover the costs. Number two, ask sellers to help them to roll the costs into the loan by paying the costs themselves and raising the price of the home to make up the difference.
Yeah, now in truth, they're actually, those two things are really the same thing, to be honest with you. So does this change your buyer's finances? Yes. Be aware of this conversation. It's just another conversation to be having with them. Any questions on closing costs, guys?
Nope.
Oh, come on. There's a good opportunity here. Are closing costs the same between all lenders?
No.
No. In fact, as we are trained, where is Keller Mortgage A+ for our buyers?
Low cost.
Say again?
Low cost.
Not low costs, no costs, zero closing costs, plus $1,000 towards buyer credit at closing.
Wow.
That is not a joke.
First time we heard that.
What are you talking? You guys don't have the 0+ loan? What are you talking about?
They told us about it yesterday, but they didn't tell us what it was.
0+ loan, yeah, when you work with a Keller Williams agent, either on the buying or listing side, the buyer is eligible for the 0+ loan, which is zero closing costs and a $1,000 credit.
Hey, where can we get this information?
Yeah. Okay, so let me think about that for a second. The best way to get it is go to Keller Mortgage, and they're going to tell you a lot about it. In the command, I believe there's marketing around Keller Mortgage. And then if you want to know exactly how to have your buyer apply, they apply to a link, which is through your app. So every house that your buyer sees on their app has a Keller Mortgage button, which will show how much you can save. Like on this house, save $3,000. On this house, save $5,000. There is a way, and I'd have to dig for it, but there is a way for you to get the code for your application, which is what I did, and then just built a website around it.
So can I ask a question?
You may.
It might be obvious. So if they charge zero for closing costs, what happened? Are there any closing costs that they would have had to pay for otherwise, and it just gets rolled into the loan? Or
good question. The answer is yes, because closing costs are accumulation of 4 things.
Right. Can you name
lender
them?
fees, title fees, prorated taxes, prorated insurances. So their closing costs, and let's be honest here, guys, is that a lender is really going to charge you, from a lender perspective, they're going to charge you maybe half a point. So like maybe $2,400 for a $400,000 house, but it's still about a quarter of the closing costs. It's still about, yeah, it's still a 0.5%.
But would it be safe to say that those prospective buyers that might not have all the money down for the closing costs, we would highly recommend this?
Yeah.
Well,
Yes. And
Keller Mortgage doesn't cover all of the closing costs. It only takes away the lender fees.
correct. And $1,000 credit.
Yes.
Tina, yes, good clarification. Not all the closing costs, because you can't credit taxes or insurance or the title fees,
Okay.
but it does do the, so my leading question was, are all lenders charging the same? The answer is no. Okay. So watch your lenders, understand their fee structure. You guys are going to find, as a new agent, lenders will want to get into business with you for your referral business and everything like this. Totally, I'm all about it. Understand where the lender's value is to you. Does that make sense? Okay, cool. I was going down a rabbit hole and then I forgot, so we're good. We're good. Okay, moving on. Page 41, frequently asked questions. Okay, I'm just gonna rip through these. Are you guys on 41? Are you ready? How are you telling about the newest homes available? Tina, how are you gonna do it? It rhymes with schmins. It's a bins. I'm messing with you. It's a bins, buyer instant notification system. Yeah, there you go. All right. Will you inform me of homes from all real estate companies or only Keller Williams Realties? Everyone! That's what the MLS is for. Also, some buyers think that you can only show Keller Williams homes. No, tell them I can show you any home in your MLS. I can show you any house in Oregon. I can write on any house in whatever. Okay, can you help me find new construction? Yes. How does for sale by owner work? Who's got a good script for this one? Anybody? Well, I'll tell you how I do it. If my buyer is under contract with me to purchase, then they have already contractually asked me to represent them during a for sale by owner. So what do we do? Well, if my buyer is interested in a for sale by owner, I call that person and basically ask them how we can negotiate my fees into the purchase price. Now, here's the truth, guys. Do sellers really care about the purchase price and the closing cost, or do they care about how much money they're walking away with? Money, which means the conversation would be something like money. Yeah. So the conversation would be something along the lines of, Mr. Fizbo, as long as you got the money that you were hoping to walk away with, would it be okay if my buyer and I put an offer in on your property? Who's going to say no? Okay. And then you negotiate your commission into the closing cost fees for the seller. That's a strategy. We'll talk about it later. Okay, what's next? Fizbo. How does Fizbo work? Can we go back through our property again once an offer is made before possession? Oh yeah. If you make an offer, can you go back in? Well, it depends when. Is it accepted? Yes. Inspection, whatever. Once my offer is accepted, what should I do? Celebrate and focus on moving. Yeah, you got inspections. So we got some ways to go. Cool. Then 42, we've got the About Me page. I'll let you guys work on that one. Basically, it kind of allows you to tell a little bit about yourself and go from there. This document, when you get it, is editable, so you can personalize it as well. Cool. Okay, we're going to go to page 45 for some script work. Before we do, I realize I missed our 3 o'clock break. I am so sorry. Let us now take a quick 5. Is that okay with everybody? I'm seeing a thumbs up. See you in 5, people. Tina, how you doing over there? I couldn't hear you.
I'm doing pretty good. I got a notice today from our board of association
Uh-huh.
saying that I need to very quickly finish my code of ethics class or I'm going to be put on inactive status.
You know what? That's a 3-hour course. You'll rip through it real quick.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm 60% through. So the good thing is I've got it on one screen, I've got you on the other, and I'm doing both and doing well in both.
Good job. Jessica, how you doing over there?
Good. Just plugging along, learning the industry. I also am in accounting, so I have a full-time job, but it's always been a virtual position. So I have a remote office, which
golden
is
hour.
very helpful with real estate because I'm able to juggle both. Eventually, I will transition into full-time once I am ready to take that leap of faith.
I think we all have a transition story. I know for myself, I worked 4 jobs, real estate being the fourth one, and was doing about 70 hours a week for 6 months until that paycheck started rolling in. And then it took me another about 6 months to transition 100% to real estate. And
awesome.
Well, it was a lot of energy. And this industry, when you are commission based, your income will be proportionate to the amount of energy and focus that you can put out into your business. And so if you are interested in making lots of money, then you kind of need a lot of energy and a lot of focus.
For sure.
Cool.
Yeah, it's fun. I'm sorry I didn't do it a long time ago, but hey, that's okay. I'm
Second
now
best
in a
time to plant a
position
tree, right?
Yeah. So accounting's a little boring for me. I'm good at it, but not really happy. So
You will love the number side of the mortgages then. And my mentor in the business was a realtor for 30 years in several states. He also flipped houses and he also was a mortgage lender. And so I actually learned how to pre-qualify and manage buyer expectations from the perspective of a lender as a real estate agent. And so, you know, I would get comments from the lenders that didn't know me. They're like, hey, you got to stop doing my job and let me pre-qualify the buyer and you just show them houses. I'm like, you know, my method of selling houses is to understand their payment and their cash position, because the truth is right now, guys, one of the best numbers you'll ever use is that it costs about $50 for every $10,000 borrowed. $50 a month cost for every $10,000 borrowed. In other words, taxes being equal, the difference between a 400 and a 420 house is only $100 a month. That is a real conversation you can have with your buyers as it relates to their lifestyle. For $100 a month, house A or house B. Totally a different way of looking at it. If you come at it from the price perspective of 400 and 420, you're going to lose people on 20 grand. You'll keep people on $100 a month. Make sense?
how does a lender look at that? If they're going to approve a $400,000 home, will they also approve a $450,000 home?
Here's the trick. Here's the trick. A lender does not approve a house. A lender approves debt. So what a lender will do, and they'll base their debt approval off of a formula: taxes, insurance, and loan amount. Everything else remains how do I say this? So one of the biggest things about my particular area is tax value. Inside the city, a $400,000 house could have taxes as high as $6,000. That same $400,000 house outside of the city could have taxes as low as $2,400. Okay, so we're talking about a variance of $3,600. That's $300 a month. If I plug that in, $300 a month at $50 for every 10,000 borrowed is $60,000 worth of house. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So in the city, they could buy a 400. In the country, they could buy a 460 for the same payment. Lenders pre-qualify the debt. They don't pre-qualify the house. The more you understand about how the debt is in the loan, the better. This is just how I operate. The better you'll be able to have a real life conversation with your buyer on expenses.
Mm-hmm. I'll reach out to you at some point for sure.
Well, that's great. Okay, we've got almost everybody back. Let's keep rocking and rolling. So we are on page 45, close for the agreement. Awesome. Let's just run through the scripts because this is just kind of a fun one. Avery, let's do script number 1.
All right. All I ask is the following script details a way to obtain an exclusive agreement. All I ask in exchange for my superior customer service promise is that you agree to work with me exclusively. Does that sound fair? Okay, can we sign and shake on that? Provide the buyer with the buyer representation agreement. Explain it, and have them sign it and shake hands.
Awesome. Since you're so good at it, keep going.
Closing the buyer representation agreement number 1, script. What we're going to do now is sign the buyer representation agreement, which puts me to work for you. You're giving me the tool I need to represent you in your purchase. With this tool, I have the opportunity to negotiate for you and get you the best deal. And getting the best deal is important to you, isn't it? Perfect. Well, let's do the right thing. Sign the buyer representation agreement and put me to work for you. Closing the buyer representation agreement 2, script.
I'm going to pause you right there. Because you're doing an awesome job, and I want to run through the rest of the material. So it's basically is finding a way to ask for the representation agreement. Make sense? Okay. You guys will learn in your buyer consultation that at the end of the consultation, you're basically asking for the buyer to sign what's called an exclusive service agreement, right? And that's saying that you're going to agree to work with me. Here's the one thing that I've learned in my experience with these agreements is that if you're a salesperson, which I am, if I'm a salesperson and I'm sitting somebody down at a table to go through a 30, 40, 50-minute presentation, they're waiting for me to sell them. It's just the truth. And so if I get through my presentation and then I start sliding this contract across the desk for them to sign, they go, oh, here it is, honey. Didn't I tell you he was going to make us sign something today? So here's the thing, guys. I personally take it away right at the very beginning of the meeting. The first words out of my head are, hey, guys, today we're going to talk about the market. We're going to talk about your needs and wants. And at the end of this, I'm going to ask you if you'd like to hire me as your real estate agent to move forward in you guys buying a house. Does that sound fair? And if they say yes, that's great. Then I'll go through. And by the way, they already know that by the end of the agreement, I'm going to ask them to sign a contract. If they say we're not here to sign anything today, then I now have the option be like, well, that's fine. You can agree not to. But now I have the option of either going through the contract or saying, hey, listen, then you know what? It doesn't sound like you're serious about buying a house. Thanks for your time. You may go home. Does that make sense? I can't tell you how many hours I've wasted with people standing up and walking out of the room because they didn't want to sign a contract. As soon as I changed it to a front-end loaded expectation and said, today we're going to talk about you agreeing to work with me as a realtor, I went to almost a 100% signed contract agreements ratio. If they sat down in front of me, they were signing, period. It was awesome. It works. Okay. So that's why I stopped you there, because of these were nuances in the closing. I don't care about that. Set the expectation. Closing's easy. So what about objections? So let's go through the objections, because this actually is a thing. Eileen, let's go objection 1 on page 46.
Okay. Objection 1, not all buyers will say yes. Some buyers will object to working exclusively with you. If a buyer objects to signing, use the script below. Mr. Lorenz, because of the level of service I provide, I can only work with buyers who work exclusively with me. Let me remind you that by signing, you are not agreeing to pay me a fee. You're agreeing to have me represent your best interests and to use my knowledge and expertise to find you the best home at the best price. That is what you want, isn't it? To find the best home for the best price?
Nice. What about the next one? Keep going.
Objection 1, I don't want to sign anything. I want to be free to work with other agents. When you engage me as your real estate sales representative, you give me the tool that I need to represent you. If you sign the buyer representation agreement with me, I'm contractually obligated to share any information about the seller situation that I find out. For example, if it's divorce, relocation, or estate sale, without that agreement in place, I'm actually a sub-agent to the seller. That means
Asterisk.
Sorry?
Just sub-agent, asterisks. Yeah, we'll come back to that.
Leader, whether your state has sub-agency, dual agency, and or designated agency.
We do.
Okay. That means that I do not represent you and I can't share that information with you. I want to be your advocate, not theirs. So let's do the right thing and sign the buyer representation agreement today.
Okay, thank you very much. So on page 47, we've got objection number 2, which is what if I change my mind during the 30-day period? And then objection number 3, what if I don't need to work with an agent because I can find a home on my own or through the internet? Okay. My main response to any of these objections to sign the agreement is, well, you may not understand how I get paid. I only get paid through the listing agent when I sell the home. In fact, they've already negotiated my contract. So if I don't have an agreement with you to work a house, I'm in fact trying to sell you a home just so I can get paid. Now, does that make your best interest ahead of my own? If we've got an agreement to work together, that means I'm working in your best interest because I know that we're working together as a team and I'm here to promote your best interests at all times. Make sense? And once people understand that how we get paid, because some people don't understand, some people think we're hourly. Some people think if they buy a Keller Williams house, I get paid if they went through another agent. They just don't know.
Yeah.
So understanding how you get paid and asking for their commitment is not a bad thing. It's just clarifying what they know and understand where your value comes in. Make sense? Cool. Know when
I'm
to.
sorry. I
Go
have
ahead.
a question.
Do it, Nuri.
So I know we're all talking about exclusive agreement.
Yeah.
And before I got into this, because while I was studying, and my brother-in-law was asking, as a buyer, isn't it better to be, if instead of exclusive, is it better for buyers to have like open agreement to like work with 3 or 4 different agents, whoever brings the buyer, they get paid?
So what if the MLS publishes all the information to the same people, to the same place, then what does one buyer agent have over another buyer agent in terms of information available?
The same.
Same. So what's your value as an agent? So this is, so hold on. I'm just typing out my, some people have to go. So there you go. Okay. So yeah, your level of commitment. So basically when you're putting together this value proposition for people to work with you, what you're saying is would you like to work with me because here's why I can help you and why I'm a great asset to your team, right? For you finding the home buying or experience. If you go somewhere else, and this is just my personal experience, Nuri, is like, if they want to go shop with other realtors, that's fine, they can do that. But then how likely am I to spend my time showing them houses, sending them emails, in communication with them if they're not going to buy a house from me? Does that help me and my family? Not at all. Let me ask you another question from the buyer perspective. Do you really want to go through this buyer consultation process every realtor and be like, we want a 3-bedroom, 5-bathroom home with a 200,000, blah, 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 finances pre-qualification? No, call the next person. Okay, we're gonna da-da-da-da-da-da. So when you work with me, not only do we develop a relationship, but I know exactly what you're looking for. And because I have the same information as all the other agents, Nobody's going to have different or better information than me. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So what I explain is, if I work with the buyer exclusively, I get all that information, specifically what they're looking for, to get the information I know of to share as, all the, fiduciary duties or whatsoever, do everything. But it's something that they have a confusing, like information. It's like, well, then other agents have the same information.
They think other people do, but you don't. So if you're worried about your experience, just remember you can edify your team. So my brokerage has been around for X years. Between me and my principal broker, we have over 30 years of experience, right? So you have the experience, your team has the experience. If they have questions, you can get back to them. But remember, people will do business with you because they like you and trust you. So don't worry about too far about getting into the weeds. They'll do business with you because they like you. Okay. What the heck was I gonna say?
So I literally had to debate what's the difference.
If they're pressing you that hard on working with other agents and they don't see the value of working with one agent who's committed to them, then let them go. Because truthfully, they're going to do the same thing to the other agent. And yeah, maybe one agent, somebody's going to get lucky, but if it's not you, you've burnt your time, you've burnt your gas, and more importantly, you have given up your time to prospect for an A buyer who's really willing to commit to you and close with you.
Yeah, because my brother-in-law thinks that since you have 3 or 4 different agents that I'm working with, so all these people will be more competitive to find the exact home that you're looking for.
Not true. It's the opposite. You will get less service. You'll get less service.
And I told him, like, maybe not everybody wants to work the same efforts. It's not exclusive. Why? Because it's 4 people, they have a 4 chance. I'm like, no, it doesn't work.
If he know, so this is gonna thing. This is what I would tell him. Make sure every agent that you're talking to knows that you're working with 4 other agents and see who takes your call.
Yeah, seriously.
Right? Because all he's doing is just going down the list. How about this? If I know that you're working with me, I will pick up your call. If I can't pick up your call, I'll text you that right back when I can. And then you know that I'm dedicated to working with you. Okay?
Yeah, that definitely understands. So that what I explained my brother-in-law, so what I think is exclusive and what I have, remember what I've learned and so far and so forth. But since he was a buyer's perspective, so he thinks it's more, because he's like, it's realistically, he thinks more people that he knows as a different agency, better results because of more people involved and get a better home that we're looking for.
I understand. However, you have the same information as they do. So really it's going to be who do you like and who do you want to work with? And if it's up to you. You're not obligated to have a exclusive buyer service agreement. But my question is, are they an A buyer if they're not willing to commit to you? And if they're not an A buyer, are you willing to spend your time, energy, and gas with that person, knowing that they are what, a 25% chance to close because they have 3 other agents? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's your risk, your reward. You know what I mean? You gotta decide that for yourself. Personally, I'd have a tough conversation. And if they can, then that's great. If they can't, then hey, look, no hard feelings. You're only family, but you know.
I know. So I finally kind of explained to him what I think is exclusive and why is it better to have exclusive in terms of service-wise and what exactly what we're looking for, and any other question might come up during the time. It's just a different perspective. Was kind of hard to reconcile.
Gotcha. Yeah. Yep. It is a conversation, and you know what? You'll get through it. You'll make it happen.
Yep, I'm working on it.
Good job. Good job, Nuri.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're just about ready to. We're basically ready to wrap this up. We've got. I'm not going to do the video because we didn't have a good time on that one. So the needs analysis on page 51 is really about dialing in, and this is during your consultation, is really dialing into what are the buyer's needs. I will shortcut this whole process and tell you that it's really come down to two things: what buyers must have and what buyers really want. And so I preface this by saying, guys, what are the 5 things that you must have in order to consider making an offer on the home? And if it's a him and her, or it's a couple or whatever, they're going to sit there and fight about it for a minute. But ultimately, they together have to come up with a list of 5 things. Now, this way, when I'm at the property, I'm having that list with me. If that property does not have the 5 things and they're talking about making an offer, then I want to revisit it. Or if this property has 5 things and they're not making an offer, why aren't we making an offer? Because we have to revisit that too. Make sense? Yeah. So there's the must-haves and the really wants. The more that we can get concrete on the must-haves and really wants, then the easier it is for you. The other thing is the 3 questions deep, which is, why is this important? I want a backyard. No kidding. Why is that important? We have a dog. Well, why is it important that your dog has a backyard? Well, because if the dog doesn't have a backyard, then it means I have to drive them down to the park, and then that disrupts me from my Zoom meetings.
And it rains down here.
Whatever. So by understanding, going that 3 questions deep of why is that important to you? Why, how, that will give you this insight to your buyers. And by the way, it develops an immediate intimate connection by asking deep questions. You will be able to help them on a lot higher level. So another one that we see all the time is, I would like to have some acreage in the country. I'm like, what do you want acreage for? Well, I don't like anybody looking in my backyard. I'm like, okay, if I find you a great house with a private backyard, but it was in the city, would that be okay? Yeah, that'd be okay. Okay, so you just have to understand that the privacy was the conversation, not the dirt. Make sense? Mm-hmm. Cool. Script on page 52. By the way, thank you for those of you who are hanging in here. Alicia, can you read the script on 52?
Yes, I can. Do you want me to read up the whole thing before it?
Just the script part.
Okay. Mr. Miss Buyer, there is no such thing as 100% house. It will have your 5 must-haves and possibly some of your nice-to-haves. When we find a house that has your 5 must-haves, that is a 90 to 95% house. I'm going to suggest you write an offer. Does that work for you? What are the 5 must-haves for the home you buy?
Thank you very much. And understand, guys, that during this conversation, you're also setting the expectation that you're going to be asking them to write an offer. The buyer consultation, in addition to discovering their needs and wants, talking about the market, and then signing the buyer contract, is you're able to set all of the expectations of the process, so that you can say, when we're in a 95% house, I'm going to ask you to write an offer on the house. Is that okay with you? That way, when you're there, you're not smelling like what we call, you don't have commission breath. You're not after the sales. You're not after for the money. You're after because you're setting their own expectations. Also, they'll do the work themselves. If they know that the market right now is 100% sales price to listing price, they're not going to come in and lowball. Right? They'll be like, Devin, we know this house. We know this market is amazing. The house is great. We know the market sucks. We're willing to offer $5,000 over asking price. Do you think that's enough? Okay, it's a great start. Good job. Make sense? Yep. Cool. Your turn. Practice the steps. What's that? Yeah. So 53, 54 is practicing some of the needs analysis scripts, and then 55 is the buyer consultation. Honestly, guys, I have no idea how they expect us to go through all this information, this in only a few short hours. However, my advice is find a team or find an individual who practices the buyer consultation, and sit in on it as a silent partner. Just park yourself in the corner and watch them do their magic. I found it to be pivotal in my business in increasing my efficiency with buyers. And basically, I might have had less buyers come to my office for an appointment, but I spent more time on the phone prospecting. But the ones that did come to the office were a very high signing rate, easily 99% signing rate. And of those that signed, you know, you're closing all but a couple who sort of, you know, something fell apart or what have you. So it's very good. It's very, very effective process. Okay, guys, page 57, you guys do have some homework from a mission, your mission number 8. Make sure that you guys go in there, complete your daily 10-4, write your note cards. Do practice your scripts. And I recommend looking at the buyer consultation video as well. And bring your contacts for next calling class. Does anybody have any questions or want to? I was going to find some information for you by the end of the class, and I forgot what it was, but somebody remind me. Where to
What do
find
you do with the principal lead form?
There was something lead form.
lead form. Okay, let's see if I
Principal
can
or
figure this
something
out.
like that.
Oh, the buyer. Right.
I think it was for Amanda. Oh yeah. There she is.
Yeah, but she left.
Amanda left.
No,
Well,
I'm
that-
here.
Oh,
Amanda's
you're
there.
still-
So,
data in our, twice a day sync.
okay, as I'm looking that up, does anybody have any other questions? About today? Comments?
That was great. Thank you.
It helps me a lot
I don't
because I'm
have
working
any-
with the buyer so that I can see what I need to do.
I just have a question about where I find like a printable buyer's
agree.
service agreement to bring to a consultation.
Yes, great question. It's in your forms. It's in your Oregon forms. I believe it's called a buyer representation agreement. Your Oregon state forms available in zip forms or zip forms. That's what we're doing, right?
Zip
Yep.
form.
Thank you.
That's
I have to say this for humor. You sound like Cash Cab.
I don't know who that is.
You know, it's a
No.
show. It's the taxi guy that drives a taxi in New York, and all the passengers have to answer questions. You'll have to look it up.
Okay.
Their,
Thank you.
Oh, the same thing.
contact.
Where is that?
Okay, so it was page 21, buyer lead sheet was the one that I was asking to be printed, or that we could have a printable version of.
I know exactly what you're talking about, and dang, darn, darny darn. Let's see if I can figure it out.
Come here. What do you do? You want to say hi? Come here.
I'm going to say ask Mara.
Okay.
There is a section because they've been moving stuff around in here.
Come here.
Excuse me. Where the heck did they put that?
Oh. Yeah, that's okay.
Oh.
I'll ask Mara. I'm sure she has a copy of it.
I think I remember. Go to mykw.kw.com. Oh, I suppose I could flip it on the screen here, couldn't I? Yes. Okay, here's where it is. Okay, so here, okay, I remember. Okay. Okay, so here you guys see the dashboard?
Yep.
Okay, see the plus sign beside my marketing?
Yeah.
Okay, click it and you go to create marketing material. Pretty sure. And this is going to take you to, look at this URL, Devonfield Dream Homes. This is this old website that Keller Williams has. It's somewhere in here. Anyway, they got this marketing material tab. And in here is a bunch of so I think it's under, ooh, where are you? Oh, these are postcards. That's not what we want. We want. Dang it! It's somewhere. It's somewhere in here. Manage designs. Here we go. Guides. Here it is. Excuse me. listing, opportunities, ignite. It's going to be in here somewhere. 42 results, trending. Let's title A to Z.
It was under guides.
Yeah, under guides. Oh, come on. Yeah, no. I'm sure it's, no. Dang it. Because the listing presentation's in here. And it's the same thing. It should be the buyer side.
Like you said, isn't it in zip forms? Isn't it in there?
The contract is in zip forms.
But the buyer representation form is not.
That's the buyer representation form, but that listing, that the questions that you were asking for. Oh my God.
Why don't we shoot Mara an email and ask her?
Yeah, I would, I think.
So what's the name of it again?
It is called the
Buyer lead sheet, I think we're talking about.
Yeah, it's called the buyer lead sheet.
Buyer lead sheet. I think it's in the buyer presentation guide, but I'm not 100%
sure we
sure.
can find it.
Yeah, she's probably got this stuff at a PDF somewhere. Yeah. Sorry guys, I'm fishing here.
No
It's
worries.
Here
No, it's
somewhere.
okay. I'll find it. Thank you for trying.
Okie doke.
Thank
Anything
you.
else? All right, guys. Well, hey, thanks for coming to class. I put my contact information up on top. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. Otherwise, good luck on your search. And
Thank
real
you, Devin.
estate is an awesome career.
Bye,
so
everybody.
enjoy it. Bye.
Okay, thanks, Devin. Bye.
Bye, thanks.